Wow. Oh, hey, guys. Welcome to the ClevelandMoto Podcast number 538. Light 'em up, boys. It's a very complicated light 'em up for me. I hadn't pre-readied this one. So, oh, come on, you bastard. You savage. You monster.
Do you need
it open?
Hey, Phil?
Yeah.
I got a bottle opener right here.
Give me a Tom. Bottle opener. Yeah, I haven't had a beer that wasn't. There we go.
With the Chewbacca koozie.
Oh man, yeah, that's something. We can give that back to the barkeep. Oh lordy. To my left we have
Sean Noel,
and to his left
Dan Kromke,
and to his left
Steve Sleepy,
and to his left
Johnny Mac,
and to his left
Speedy Pete,
and to his left
Chris Smith,
and behind the bar tonight
Tom Pennington.
Woohoo! We have a whole crew.
Hey, the gang's all here.
And by the way, thanks to Sleepy, who's gone crazy
I know.
with the audio visuals. Really nice. All these fancy 4K cameras staring at us.
well, with some issues. But
Well, it's okay, but you
We're
guys
getting there.
You guys were down here Sunday working on it?
Yes.
Right? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Monday morning I had no heat.
Yeah, well, anything for good sound, right? Because we don't want you guys to have to listen to the heater blower running all the time. We haven't come out of the ice box yet. It's still damn cold out there. But more weirdly is the other day it warmed up to like 43 degrees, just long enough to create the perfect ice skating rink in the city of Cleveland, the entire city of Cleveland. So we get this beautiful melt that just everything. When I showed up to work the other morning, pulled my truck in, got out of my truck and slid for 7 feet. And I was like, if I don't end up on my ass, I'm going to be very, very happy.
Break a hip at your age.
Oh, this is the whole thing. It's like you're at the point now where you don't want to break a hip because that'll be a career-ending injury.
Peggy did a face plant walking into work. Like her lips bruised up and stuff
crap.
like that. She had all of her stuff, and it was just like, bam.
Yeah, that's embrace the penguin. The penguin.
So many people chiming in on the chat already.
Good.
Hello.
Man, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're already at the 12.
Love to see it.
We love to see you chatters. Wesley Witt, my friend. Wesley Witt, our listener in New Orleans. Wesley, contact Renee with your correct mailing address. We don't have an email address for you. We got a box for you. Renee's got a fun box set up for you, and we want to ship it to you. But Wesley, if you're out there, get in touch with Renee at Cleveland Moto and get your address to her so she can get you that box of goodies because your Patreon level gets you stuff. And keep in mind, support us on Patreon. Get cool shit. Renee's been peppering the boxes with all this Shanky's Whip stuff that Chris keeps getting for us. And
Good.
So people are getting Shanky's Whip pennants and people are getting Shanky's Whip scarves and cool shit. So that's really fun to be able to add cool things to the gift boxes. We've had special requests for Tanukis, which we're getting the Tanukis out to people. I just ordered another case of Tanukis. So we have more Tanukis coming. I'm excited about that. Always nice to see the tiki mugs showing up, and that's really, really badass. Crazy news. Anybody have any updates this week? Motorcycles they've bought, things they did for their bike? What have you guys been up to, Pete?
Changing tires.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yep.
New Midas on the rear of the Monkey.
Okay.
I got 5,000 miles out of the last one. And then just yesterday, Chris and I put a new tire on his Monkey.
Did you have a Midas on that Monkey before?
Yes.
So you're getting 5K out of a Midas?
Yep.
Right. Is that the adventure, light adventure package or pure street?
Nah, it's considered a European commuter tire.
Okay.
It's the MT19, MC19, something. So it's made for like European cobblestones and things like that. It's a very rugged tire, but I wouldn't really call it off-road.
Okay. Good to know.
But I'm getting good wear out of it, and it does well in the wet, does well in the dry, and it does well on
mountain passes.
Yeah, better than Chris's.
12-inch tires make a lot of revolutions per mile.
Exactly, yeah.
And people don't think about that. They're like, oh, man, I'm getting 7,000 miles out of that Michelin Sport Pilot I've got on my big bike. How come I'm not getting that out of my monkey bike?
Yep.
Well, because a 12-inch wheel makes a whole lot of rotations in 7,000 miles.
It's probably making twice as many revolutions as a full-size motorcycle.
It's a full-size
tire.
motorcycle wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Somebody out there has the math of the difference between 12-inch tire and 21-inch tire,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, dear. It's all about the circumference.
Circumference equals 2
Right.
pi r.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, isn't it?
Right.
Pi r
Yeah.
squared.
Yep, that's how we do
Tire
it.
around.
We've about 6 weeks maybe in the podcast, we were talking about Chris Smith syndrome, which is where you want to trade in 2 motorcycles you already own for 1 motorcycle you don't own, right? And we're just calling that the Chris Smith phenomenon now.
Chris Smith paradox.
It is. It's what it is. And I will.
Chris Smith derangement syndrome.
Somebody was making noises about the one though the other day, so I don't know.
Well, here's the way we've kind of figured it out because we've had.
The Tom Cam.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Look at it.
That is a good camera angle, my
Tom
friend.
in 4K is probably
That is
not
really nice. Yeah, that's a good camera angle. Yeah, for the folks at home that are listening through their ear holes and not through their eye holes,
You're missing out.
You are just letting you know that the video level has just upped strong.
Yeah, watch it, catch us soon on Pornhub, and if you need a studio to record your spicy videos for your OnlyFans,
we are very well set up.
We are up for rent.
Right.
And by next week, I will have read the manual of the camera that came out yesterday that nobody can tell me how to shut the fucking focus ring off.
I like how there's a fucking padlock right in front of my face.
That's
dude.
because you're locked in, baby.
You are locked in.
Oh, there is.
Well, the customers don't see that.
That's true.
Did you do that on
No,
purpose?
everybody does.
Oh, everyone
I can't
does.
shut the fucking thing off.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
the camera came out yesterday.
You're fucking me
okay.
on
So
purpose.
there is
It's
no-
not even in the
All right,
center.
fair enough.
So yeah, if you're
Literally.
looking for a place to film
Fair
your
enough.
OnlyFans, we
All
can
right.
put a flipping fuck down here and we can get you going.
So we've had some questions, and I'm going to address the questions right now regarding our show. So first of all, the day that we're recording, I will usually put out the show notes. I will put them out on a Facebook page called Cleveland Moto Podcast. That's very
Chat.
Podcast chat.
And now you're going to see why we're having questions. Oh, okay. So Cleveland Moto Podcast is our Facebook presence for the Cleveland Moto Podcast. That is the above boards. Everything's normal. You're an all normal people. That's fine. Okay. There's another Facebook page called Cleveland Moto Podcast Chat. That is the rude comments. That is you're going to have to ask for permission and we're going to have to let you in. Okay. That's where the silly stuff and the crosstalk and banter go on about, hey, you should put one of these through your dick hole or whatever, right? That's the not safe for work potentially channel where we talk about dumb shit.
Primarily because we're too old to use Discord.
Also true.
Oh.
And okay, it's not just because we're too old to use Discord. It's because wherever we go, 5,000 to 10,000 people follow us around. Okay. So we want to make things as easy as possible for the 5,000 to 10,000 people that are following us around.
Right.
Now, it's already complicated that we have Cleveland Moto Podcast on Facebook and we have Cleveland Moto Podcast Chat on Facebook. Now, because of that, I will post the show notes every Friday or every Thursday when we do the recording. I will post them on both channels. They are there on Cleveland Moto Podcast and they are there in Cleveland Moto Podcast Chat. You will get the show notes. You will be prepared for what we're going to be talking about live at 8 o'clock on YouTube. How do you find us on YouTube? Well, you go to YouTube and you type in Cleveland Moto and you look for the live button. Not just Cleveland Moto, because we have had people call in and say, I was on Cleveland Moto and I couldn't find your videos. I couldn't find your podcast. It's because these videos are live. And that's where you find them. They are streaming live. And that gives you the ability to chat along with us. So everybody who's in the chat right now has already figured that out. I'm preaching to the choir. Okay. But for those of you who are listening right now with your ear holes and you think next time I want to listen with my eye holes and my ear holes, then you're going to want to go to the Cleveland Moto Cleveland Moto YouTube channel and then just click where it says live.
Or do it now.
Or do it right now. Exactly. But you see, if you're listening through your ear holes, you're hearing this a week from now. Because that's when Sleepy sends me the audio files.
You're so smart.
And this is why we get people that are like, hey, you guys are always talking about this stuff, but I'm always hearing it 6 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way this works.
Let's put it this way. If you love Cleveland Moto Hub, you'll love Cleveland Moto Hub Live.
Well, I mean, and that didn't change. Like, even when we just did the recording, I would still take it home, edit it, send it to you, and then you would upload it.
We would always upload it, and it usually would upload 5 or 6 days after we'd record the live
You would
version.
edit out all the profanity and all the...
I don't know. Look at Sleepy. He doesn't.
No, he's actually adding
You
extra.
get rid of the
profanity.
burps and the farts.
I don't
No,
know.
I add extra ones. That's the whole point.
So, again, for people who are slow, Cleveland Moto Podcast, Cleveland Moto Podcast on Facebook. If you just want the information, if you want to participate in the witty, childish banter, then you go to Cleveland Moto Podcast Chat. They're both very easy to find. ask to be a member of the Cleveland Moto Podcast chat. Sleepy or I will let you in, and you'll be fine. You'll be able to participate in the dirty jokes.
We're going to have to set up a Find My Links.
Yes, exactly. Right. That's it.
We should add a question. You know how you have to answer a question, like CV754?
Qualifying question.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how many stars is this podcast worth?
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Right. The qualifying question is a great idea.
Knows that, but
they know the answer.
Right.
They know the answer. They know the secret code, the secret handshake, if you will.
Yes.
But yeah, that's how you do it. That's the whole rules of the show. Otherwise, that's fine. And if you have anything you want to tell us, you can just send it to clevelandmoto@gmail.com. That's how you send us things. Also, if you join Patreon has a message board there too, and everything in the message board and Patreon goes right to me, goes directly to me, and I can respond. If you don't, if you're not satisfied with your Patreon experience, let me know, right? Post it up there, let us know. General information, clevelandmoto@gmail.com. It's not like I check it every day. It fucking alerts me when it comes in. So good stuff. It's easy to play by the rules. If you just can't figure any of that out, Cleveland Moto is a business, and you can call our shop phone number, and we will also address Patreon or podcast stuff.
Operators are standing by.
Well, we had 3 people this week come into the shop that are all podcast listeners. Okay? So if you're wondering, Phil, why are we having this chat right now? It's because we had 3 people come into the shop this week that are all podcast listeners. They had certain concerns about their inability to access certain parts of what we're doing. Now, if you've got techniques and tricks that you think I need to know to make this easier, please clevelandmoto@gmail.com. And I will employ anything that seems reasonable. I will not set up a Discord or what do they call that? A Slack.
We have a Discord.
We do.
We didn't set it up.
We didn't set it up.
Yeah, but there's one there.
There's one there.
They've been talking
Most
shit
of
about
this
us for years.
podcast is Discord.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. A Discord describes a lot of what's going on here. So, yeah, crazy.
And yeah, the Alex in the chat brings up the fact you should also subscribe to our YouTube page so you can get the updates as they come available.
Of course. Right. Yeah. If you're not subscribed to Cleveland Moto and Motor Stories and More's podcast page or YouTube channel, you're
we're
wrong.
terrible at self-promotion.
We are.
We need to do that one.
Well, we like getting right to the content.
Yeah.
Instead of getting to the
most podcasts are like, all right, housekeeping for today. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Although,
make sure you like it.
If you are subscribed to the Cleveland Moto YouTube thing, like right now, if you were to go open up whatever on YouTube,
right,
our live will pop up for you first thing.
Exactly.
You'll see us right now.
It's happening right now. Right.
You have a mustache.
I do have a mustache.
It's more
got a fancy
defined.
haircut.
He's always
He's got a
had a
good
mustache.
mustache.
but
Yeah, I got a haircut.
He's trying out for the fire department next week.
Well,
he got his hair did.
You need a sweater for the Ned aesthetic?
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, I'd be a sexier Flanders than that guy we saw.
If you start wearing Cosby sweaters, we're gonna have to talk.
Just wait.
You'll find 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing, we were talking about the Chris Smith syndrome. A couple of the guys that came in this week, 2 actually out of the 3 who came in this week, are both people that said, I have a 2015 motorcycle that I own, and I have a 2018 motorcycle that I own. These are the 2 motorcycles in my world. I would like to magically convert them into a 2026 motorcycle, which is not an uncommon thing for people to want to do. If you've been in the motorcycle industry, you'll know this happens all the time. We brought it up a few months ago talking about how this year was going to be particularly big for that. But you may have noticed a trend in the decreasing value of older motorcycles. Okay? And that is the thing in your garage that you think is worth $10,000. You may want to check and see if it's actually worth $10,000. Because in both of these cases where gentlemen have wanted to trade a 10-year-old motorcycle and an 8-year-old motorcycle in on a new motorcycle, they were both shocked, is the word, at what the planet thinks their old motorcycles are worth. And that's the part I want people to be aware of. This is going to be the tip from your Unky Phil today. Before you go into the dealership hoping for trades, don't let the dealer be the bad guy. Understand what your trades are worth before you go in. I'm going to help you with how to do that. The 2 things you have access to, everyone has access to, is Kelley Blue Book and what used to be called NADA, which is now called JD Power. So JD Power bought NADA.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, because you always see those high-rated JD Power, everything. I was like, is this just a made-up fucking thing?
Yep.
Okay.
JD Power is a company that for the past 50 years, they just assess value to things.
Okay. They've mostly been car related, haven't they?
JD Power used to be business ratings. JD Power used to be the value of your business, the value of your corporation, the value of your hotel, the value of your whatever. They have taken over NADA, which was the Northern American Automotive Dealers Association. That group has been hijacked, for lack of a better term, by JD Power. So if you were looking for the NADA Blue Book value or the NADA Black Book value, the difference between those used to be the NADA Blue Book was what consumers had access to know what the value of your vehicle was. The Black Book was what dealers would pay wholesale for vehicles and then do whatever they had to do to retail the vehicle out. Now, in the JD Power listings, they will list the low retail value and the average retail value. Keep in mind that what they're not showing you is the wholesale value. Your dealer has to buy it at wholesale. If you think your motorcycle is a perfectly perfect bike, the dealer might remind you that your back tire is 6 years old, even though it only has 1,000 miles on it. The dealer might remind you that your rubber hoses on your motor, like your crankcase vent hose, are the original items from 2015, and they may be dried up and cracked up and nasty. Your intake boots may be dried up, cracked up, and nasty, even though your motorcycle only has 900 miles on it. The rubber is still 10 years old.
Time and weather.
That's what it does. So keep in mind that when you see those JD Power values, or worse yet, Kelley Blue Book, we have seen striking distance between the Kelley Blue Book or the Kelley listing of your vehicle and the JD Power listing of your vehicle. If you want to have some fun, go to your computer right now and type into Kelley Blue Book your vehicle and type into JD Power your vehicle. And notice that there's quite a bit of windage between those two companies, what they assess your value. Keep in mind, the reason for that is that Kelley is a fabrication of the National Insurance Underwriters Association. They have skin in the game. They have a benefit to telling you that your vehicle is worth more than your vehicle is when it comes to perhaps having to repair the damage on your vehicle or totaling your vehicle out, which happens more and more frequently these days than we like to see happen. When a bike comes into the shop and it has what we consider to be moderate damage to it from bumping a car or falling over, more times than not, when we start putting in all the parts that the vehicle needs to be made whole again, that will total out the vehicle. They generally have an 80% rule. They say that if the Kelley Blue Book value of the vehicle minus 20% is the maximum that they'll let a shop put into the repair and making whole of the vehicle. So, as you can imagine, since the National Insurance Underwriters also get their beak wet when a vehicle gets totaled out, they get paid more than once. So when we are seeing this rapid surge in, hey, I'm sorry, we're going to have to total your motorcycle out because the repair parts are more expensive than they used to be. The labor is still what the labor was. A 4-hour job is still a 4-hour job, but that is pushing you over that magic tipping point that the insurance underwriters have to say, we're not going to spend the money so you can keep your motorcycle. We are instead going to send the truck who's going to pick the bike up and take it to Copart, and Copart is going to sell the bike, and then we're going to get the money from Copart. Copart gets their beak wet in the exchange too. And they all have a back channel system of greasing each other.
So with cars, I remember like when I bought, the other only time I bought a new car, but it lasted a week, was a Toyota Corolla back in the day that got hit by a semi, like a week after I got it. And it got to the point where they gave it back to me because it was at $9,995 of damage. It didn't clear the $10,000, which if I would have known, I would have kicked it or something.
Sure, right.
So with motorcycles, considering that, like like I'm sure insuring a motorcycle, the liability is higher than a car.
Yes.
So are they way more particular? Like, is there like, so with a car, it looked like it was about 50%. Like if it was over 50% of the cost, they would total it out. Right. With a bike, is it much lower than that?
So it doesn't take much. So any dent in the frame, some insurance companies will even say a scratch in the frame is enough to call it requires a total frame replacement. And since usually a total frame replacement is going to push the repair up over the magic number that is the buyout for the insurance. So a lot of times you will see vehicles being called totaled out, even though they had a super minor damage or even cosmetic damage to the frame. So be aware of that. Also, a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, if you brought your Harley Davidson or your motorcycle or your BMW into my shop and said, ooh, I got hit by a car or what have you, we would actually look at the vehicle. We would spend an hour or two going over the vehicle, stem to stern. These are all the parts it needs. We would then submit that to the insurance company with your insurance claim number on it. And they would say, great, Marty will be there on Thursday. And they'll send their guy out who is an insurance adjuster. The insurance adjuster would show up at your house or at the shop where your vehicle was. Marty would look at the vehicle. And sometimes Marty would go, hey, the dealership actually missed this broken thing over here. Or the dealership missed that broken thing over there. And it always shocked me that these adjusters that were being paid by the insurance company would want to nickel and dime this bike up to the point where it was getting totaled out.
Yeah.
My customer never wants their bike to be totaled out. Because when the bike gets totaled out, the insurance company doesn't give them what they paid for their bike. The insurance company gives them what the fair market value is for that bike. Who sets that fair market value up? Well, they go by Kelley Blue Book, which is already leaning towards their advantage. So it was annoying to us when we would say, all right, Pete, you're going to get your bike back as soon as they give me the money to order the parts and fix it. And then Marty shows up. And now I got to tell Pete, I'm sorry, Marty showed up, and now your bike has an extra $1,200 worth of repairs, and Pete, they're going to total your bike out. Well, Pete, of course, is going to be pretty upset by that because he knows he can't go buy another BMW that's 3 years old with the rather small check that State Farm is going to write him. He's now upside down. He might not even be able to pay off the loan with the small check the insurance company is going to write him. Go ahead, Chris.
So I kind of ran into something like this with an automobile, and they wanted to total it out, and I said, well, screw the insurance. I kept it. But what I did do, so I went back to the agent, and I said, I want to have a declared value on my car.
Absolutely. Stated value insurance.
Yeah. So, and it cost me an extra, I think, $57 to put a stated value on my vehicle.
$50 for a year?
$50 for me.
For the year?
For the year, yeah.
Okay.
And I got it up to $10,000. They were going to give me like $3,200.
Exactly.
So
Right.
make sure you check with your agents and say, I want a stated value policy here, and see what they say. And if they say that we can't give it to you, fuck them, shop around because
Shop
they're
around.
out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that the irony? $3,200 up to $10,000.
Well, I picked 10 grand. The guy said, well, how much do you want to insure it for? I said, 10 grand.
Well, that's what Haggerty does. That's why everybody, all hot rod guys, and even when I had all my vintage bikes, you go to Haggerty because you tell them like, hey, that bike's $5,000. It's all stated value insurance.
Yeah.
Hey,
But that's classic vehicles, and I could not get Haggerty on mine. Well, what year is that? I said it's a 2004 Camry. No, fuck you.
If you're not, okay, I'm going to make this up. I'll take it to the point where it's a declarative statement. If you have insurance on your vehicle, whether it's a 2023 monkey bike, right, or whether it's a Lexus, you should always have stated value insurance. Now, the alternative for that is what the dealer is going to try to sell you, which is called gap insurance. Yeah. Don't buy the gap insurance. Don't buy a product from your dealer. It's a third-party thing. It is not coming from your State Farm insurance policy or your USAA insurance policy. It's a product from the dealership that says your State Farm is going to pay $3,200, but our gap insurance provider is going to give you the extra $5,000 between the two because you bought gap insurance from us. Go ahead, John.
So just because you have $10,000 worth of insurance, does that mean they'll actually give you $10,000? I mean, they're not going to give you more than what they value the bike, are they?
That's the stated value part.
Yeah.
So if the vehicle that I had has $8,000 worth of damage, say fuck you, it's totaled. I can say no, I got 10,000. So they'll pony up to the 8,000.
They have to give you the stated value of the 10,000,
and they will not. Okay, so if you have your 2004 Corolla, and you say I want my stated value to be $40,000, they're not going to do that.
Right.
It's going to be within reason.
Right.
So
I think it to be $1 million.
Right.
$1 million.
So they will do it, but you're going to pay like $300,000 a month.
That's okay. I'm fine.
The underwriters won't let them do it. So I mean, I've tried that game. So
that's all right. I'm going to total it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, no. Usually, I remember
it's 90 days is the rule. So if your policy's less than 90 days, you're probably going to get some attention thrown on you.
Yeah.
So when we have a customer, I don't know if you were within this window, Sean, but we had a customer that had a brand new Vespa. It was less than 2 weeks old, and he had a 1 in a million shot where a piece of very sharp granite from the road.
That one was totally messed up.
Yeah, and it went into his engine.
Ooh.
Like a gunshot.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And this very hard piece of...
Like blew a hole in the case?
It literally, like...
Yeah.
For all intents and purpose, you and I know guns, it looked like we shot the engine case with a 5.56.
Oh, my word.
Okay? It had a 5.56 hole in the engine case, right? And, of course, as we would later find out... It had the metal from the engine case and the rock that went in there were in the engine case. So the first traumatic thing that happened is all the oil came out the hole.
Yeah.
But he didn't know the oil came out the hole because he was going 60 miles an hour down the road when it happened.
So
and it
oil
doesn't
went behind him.
take long for 1 liter of oil under a lot of pressure to find the biggest hole in the engine and exit stage low.
So it hemorrhaged right out.
And it did. It bled right onto the road.
Wow.
And so his bike, the check oil light came on the dashboard, which of course he might not have seen right away because it's not exactly where your eyeballs are.
Yeah.
But he said, he looked down, he saw the oil light, and he's like, I was just like, I better pull over. And he pulled over, and he could see in the distance where the oil stopped coming out of his motor.
Sure.
There was a black stripe down the gravel road until there wasn't a black stripe anymore. And then he tried to start the bike and the bike wouldn't start. Oof. So he got the bike towed to his house because he lives out there, right? Like he didn't have it towed to my shop, but he had it towed to his house, which because he's a Vespa Club of America member, it was free. He had it shipped to his house. And then I kind of went out there. And it's a hike, but I went out there anyway because he's a good customer. I got out there and I laid on my back onto the bike and saw this freaking hole. And I was like, well, I'm just curious to see if it'll start. And it started, but it made bad noises. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a garbage disposal at that point.
It did. It there was extra metal where metal shouldn't be.
Lots of spinny things and the rocks and metal spinning around with it.
It was pretty awful. And we brought it in and he called the insurance company and said, I got a problem. And the insurance evaluator, this was the insurance fraud specialist came out. The reason I said the insurance fraud specialist came out is because we discovered almost a year and a half ago that the job insurance adjuster or claims adjuster does not exist anymore. Wow. Isn't that something? So what happens now is we take 100 photos of the damage of the bike, and we send it in with a claim number to a company that's not called, the company's called Snapsheet. And Snapsheet is a service provider for the insurance companies where they aggregate all of those images from all these claim numbers. And then the people at the insurance company look at the pictures on Snapsheet. It saves them paying a human to physically come out and look at the damage. How much do you think a Snapsheet evaluation misses compared to a guy who actually knows cars and motorcycles coming out and crawling under the vehicle? The answer is it misses a whole hell of a lot.
Well, I can't believe it's not costing them money.
It is.
I was going to say.
Well, and this is the point. Somebody with an MBA decided that it was better to use Snapsheet than it was to send the people out and keep paying the people. So now when we have a damaged, vehicle and we send the 25 or 35 pictures into Snapsheet, they have never called and said, can you send me more pictures of area 7? Can you send me more pictures of the front fork? Which was when the evaluator would come out He'd be in my shop for an hour, crawling under the bike, taking a lot of pictures, measuring the frame, measuring the forks. Well, Snapsheet doesn't do any of that shit. So the number of bikes that have been totaled out has gone up dramatically.
Do you have the option to buy them out if you know that they're not really that fucked up?
So this is the way it works, and this is another part of what we're talking about today.
Okay.
If your vehicle is at the shop, and if they send an evaluator out, or if they do the Snapsheet method, whatever it is, and they tell you, Pete, I have bad news, the repair estimate for your vehicle is so high that we are choosing to total the vehicle out. Remember, they are choosing. Go ahead, Pete.
At which time I, Pete,
Yes.
or any customer would say, that is still my bike,
Absolutely.
and I'm going to keep it.
Exactly.
Pay me.
Right. That is exactly what it is.
Because you don't, just because your vehicle's totaled out doesn't mean you have to take the settlement that they offer. You can say, I wish to retain my property, but I wish to be paid for my claim
Exactly.
of the damage. You're
Exactly.
telling me my $10,000 bike just suffered $8,000 worth of damage. I'll keep the bike. Give me the $8,000.
Right. Now, what's going to happen is before they release the check to Pete that says it's worth $8,000, Pete, I hope, is going to say, also in that crash, I damaged my jacket, I damaged my helmet, I damaged my Rolex watch, I
Yes.
damaged my blue jeans, I damaged my boots.
Yep.
Right.
My Van
And
Gogh got torn.
he's going to put all of those things into that claim. Okay? Because he thought he was just taking his bike to the shop to have his bike looked at. Okay? He, at that point, is going to remind the insurance company of all these other things that were damaged in the crash because they need to make him whole on that. Okay? And you, as the person who owns the insurance policy, you have the right to do all of that. Now, interestingly, the law was changed recently that Pete is the only person that has the first right of refusal on this repair claim. The shop can't do it. The mechanic can't do it. The tow truck driver can't do it. It is Pete and Pete alone that can do this. But Pete then can say to the shop, hey, Phil, the insurance company said they were going to give me $8,000 to total this, $10,000 to total, or $8,000 to total out my $10,000 bike, right? Pete then might cut a deal with me and say, look, hey, can you really fix this bike for $8,000? And I would probably say, yes, I can, to keep you on the bike, right? Now, keep in mind, before you get the check from the insurance company, you're going to have to provide the insurance company with the salvage title. So you are going to have to go to the title bureau. You are going to have to tell the title bureau that this vehicle has been in a crash and it has been totaled out. They will then cut you a branded salvage title. You will provide a copy of that branded salvage title to the insurance company before you get your check. They will not give you a check until they are holding a branded salvage title, which you know has greatly reduced the vehicle of the value of your vehicle.
Your other option, though, too, let's just say you stove the front end of the bike in. Maybe you've bent the headstock, you've twisted the forks, crushed the front wheel.
Right.
Everything on the back of the bike, maybe you have aftermarket suspension, an Olean suspension or some other very expensive suspension. You can part that bike out on your own.
Of course.
So you've got $8,000 towards this.
And you have a good
$10,000
pile of parts.
And you got a good pile of parts.
Absolutely.
You can maybe get another $4,000
Sure.
out. So now you're at $12,000.
Yep.
You know, from what you started at, they were going to give you $8,000 for your $10,000 bike.
Never swing at the first pitch is my next piece of advice.
Well, I was going to say, remember when Mark told us when he crashed that Ducati, that factory superbike? Mm-hmm. So he crashed it, and insurance was going to give him like $20,000 or something. He was like, no, I'll just keep the bike. He parted it out because the forks were still good. He got like $25,000 for the forks, $10,000 for the swing arm. Like, he made money.
So now I'm going to tell you about never swing at the first pitch. If you have this situation and you have a motorcycle that's been damaged and the motorcycle's at the shop and the insurance company calls you and says, the repair bill for your bike is $8,000. We've determined that that's greater than we would pay for this bike, and we are going to total your bike out. Okay? You are completely within your rights as a owner of the insurance policy to say, I do not accept that. I do not accept that. You can also ask for another shop to do an estimate. Because until you agree to take what is called a settlement, And that's what it is. It is a settlement. It is them saying, once we write this check to you, you cannot come back to us later and say your neck hurts. You cannot come up back to us later and say, oh, I forgot. I lost one of the diamonds out of my ring in the crash. You can't come back to us later. You can't say the shop didn't fix my bike right. You can't. Once you take the check is a settlement. By accepting the check, you are saying we are done now. Okay? You don't have to swing at the first pitch. And we have this happen all the time. The customer brings the bike in. I say the bike has $2,500 worth of damage. The bike is a $20,000 bike. The insurance company calls me back and says, Mr. Waters, we don't think that's $2,500 damage. We think that's $2,000 worth of damage, right? It works both ways. I will frequently tell the insurance company, great, then you pick this bike up and you take it to another shop. They never do. But they make money the less money they give to you. So they're always going to lowball you. They are perpetually going to lowball you. They may lowball you, the consumer. They may lowball the shop. But they're always going to lowball. So don't you ever swing at the first pitch. We have found that magically they come up with another $1,500 when you tell them, no, then come and pick it up and take it to another shop. Well, no. Now, this is the third tip. It's called an addendum. When you are writing a quote and you start working on the bike, you might take that piece of bodywork off, or you might take that panel off and find there's something else broken underneath it. Once the insurance company has agreed to have the work done, the shop has told the insurance company how much the repair is going to be. If I find some hidden damage by taking parts off and I find something is damaged underneath, like your axle bearings are broken or something like that that wasn't visible from the outside, I can very easily write an addendum to your insurance company that says, this is something we discovered while we were doing the work, and they will then write me a check for that, for the addendum. However, we have found insurance companies that will fucking play around, and they'll say, hey, look, Pete's bike is going to get totaled out if you say it needs $6,000 worth of repairs. So I want you to write the repair quote to say that it needs $5,500 worth of repairs, which will be below the magic number. We can initiate the job, and then you can just send me an addendum for $500 2 weeks into the work. Be careful of that. But I know shops that live and breathe on that. I know shops that don't do a single repair without an addendum or 2 addendums or 3 addendums, because that's the gravy. That's where they're taking a $3,000 job and turning it into a $5,000 job, right? So be aware of that.
Another thing, so when I had my one car that my wife crashed by accident, they basically were trying to give me like nothing, you know, like $5 for it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But I had a whole bunch of receipts because I had just put tires on it, brakes on it, and all that kind of shit. And at first they weren't taking that into account. So I had to bring that up, and I said, no, I reject that, dude. I just put $4,000 into this car. So I had to provide them with all the, you know, all the receipts and stuff. And then they actually reissued
That's
different
called
amount.
Don't swing at the first pitch.
Yeah.
They told you your car was worth $2,000.
Yep.
You proved to them the car was worth $4,000.
48 actually.
Whatever. Yeah. So they had their finger on the scale. You helped modify that.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about, and then we're done with this. The last thing is your bike is in the shop. The insurance company agrees to fix it. Your shop said it needs $4,000 worth of repairs. The insurance company sends the check to you, to Pete, for the $4,000 worth of repairs. Well, Pete saw a really nice pair of sneakers in the window today, and he's now got a $4,000 check burning a hole in his pocket. Pete doesn't give the check to the shop. He goes and buys the pair of sneakers instead. And the shop says, hey, Pete, I need that check for $4,000 so I can order your part and start working on your bike. Or maybe in the worst case scenario, hey, Pete, I already started working on your bike and I need some money for the work I've done. Hey, when's that sweet, sweet $4,000 check that the insurance company agreed upon going to come in? And Pete goes, oh, I don't know. It's not here yet. Whatever. We got a bike in the shop right now that played by that rules. And the funny thing was, I told the insurance company from day one it was insurance fraud, and the guy whose bike is in my shop is in jail right now. Not for insurance fraud, for some other thing, right? But the insurance fraud is he was riding his electric scooter and a woman backed into him or something. And then he made a claim on his real gasoline-powered 300cc scooter. The lady was none the wiser. His bike had been sitting in his backyard, not ridden for 3 or 4 years. When the bike came into my shop, I went, that bike's not been ridden for 3 or 4 years. How the hell did it get in an accident a week ago?
Well, certainly not on
2
those
weeks
tires.
ago, right? We knew by looking at it, the bike had been parked under a tarp in the backyard for 2 or 3 years. But the insurance company gave him a rental car to drive for like 7 weeks, right? Oh, yeah, the whole deal. It was a pure insurance fraud. And I told the lady from the insurance company, this is insurance fraud. You need to look into this. But she was representing the woman who backed into the scooter. And again, since there may or may not have been a police report involved, there wasn't a VIN until later on when he called and gave the VIN to the insurance company, right? Well, be careful. Insurance fraud is real and it's out there. So shops like me, we make sure we get paid up front, right? So the amount of storage, by the way, we charge $35 a day for storage. So the amount of storage that bike has already accumulated is in the like $9,000 number range. Yeah. So he's never going to see that bike again. And one of our other customers called because he had to go to jail for an OVI. And he said, hey, guess what? While I was in jail, I ran into this guy who said that his scooter was in your shop. And I was like, oh, you're getting the fuck. And he said, well, but he's going to jail for 8 years. So the guy who owns the bike that did the insurance fraud, he's going to jail for 8 years.
Ooh. Yeah, imagine that.
We've already started the mechanics lien title for him.
Yeah.
Oh. So that's just it. That was it. That's the whole thing about insurance.
Well, finish up the story on the salvage title, though.
Yeah. Well, salvage title. So you're going to get a salvage.
How do you turn that around?
So you don't. So your salvage title is always going to say salvage. The question is how big the salvage is going to be on there, right? So you're going to get a salvage title when you take your check. You're going to present your salvage title to the insurance company. Right. They're going to mail you the check for, in Pete's case, $6,000, right? For his $8,000 bike that he knows is worth $10,000. Okay. So they're going to mail him the check for $6,000, but he had to already go get a salvage title. But Pete wants to ride this bike. If Pete wants to legally register this bike again, he needs to have it inspected by the state of Ohio. Now, every state is a little different. In our state here in Ohio, our inspections are conducted by the Ohio State Highway Patrol. There are usually one Ohio State Highway Patrol inspection station by every major metropolitan area. You will take your vehicle to the Ohio State Patrol inspection station. You will present them a list of the parts you paid for. What they really want to see in a perfect world is they want to see a shop and the work the shop did. They're going to look at the crash report, anything they have on file regarding the bike. If they don't have a crash report, okay, fine, they got to take your word for it. Then a guy, I'm not joking, a state trooper, male, female, whatever, is going to be wearing a very, very sexy pair of coveralls with a big gold fucking badge on it and a holster and a pistol, even though they're in an enclosed building where the only people coming and going from the building are having their vehicles inspected. And then this person in one of the nicest epoxy floors, bright lights, will then be laying on the floor and inspecting your vehicle in the most intense way you could even imagine, the highest degree of scrutiny.
I was shocked.
This is such a cosplay.
I was shocked. I forgot what vehicle it was, but I had to go there and exactly what you're describing. I get there, it was a bike. I roll the bike in. I'm sitting there like, hey, I'm doing the right thing.
I'm doing the right thing. I paid my $75.
Literally in a jumpsuit with a fucking holster, a 6-shooter strapped to the outside of his jumpsuit.
Yes.
And goes, is this your vehicle? Yeah. Step back 4 feet, like yelling at me and shit. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm just here to get a fucking inspection.
And it's usually $75 or more, and they only do it one Tuesday a month.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you have to make an appointment way the fuck
it's a racket.
Time. Yeah.
And then they look at your whole bike and they go, okay, well, you've got this missing bolt here. You've got this missing screw there. You've got this missing trim piece here. And they write a whole report. And then they come up and say, okay, address those issues and bring it back.
With another $75.
With another $75, because retests are not free. And I have, very rarely have I ever taken a bike to them and got an A on my report card. And they're like, okay, you're free to leave now. They will give you a certificate that says that the bike has been legally inspected. Now, here's the irony or hypocrisy in the situation. A state official who's certified and trained to inspect vehicles. Mind you, this guy just checked over your Honda 250 Rebel, but he is also qualified to check over 18-wheelers and bucket trucks and earth movers, right? Because that's what he does. School buses.
I took my RV and that guy wanted nothing to do with it. He's like, don't pull it in here. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because his floor is really pretty.
I'm like, okay, whatever. And he comes out. He's like, what'd you do to it? I'm like, nothing. And he's like, what? I'm like, nothing. Everything works on it. Everything. I'm just going to drive it like it is. It has a little hit up top. I don't care. I'm taking it on a one-way trip to Pennsylvania, and I'm going to park it for the rest of its life. He's like, good enough for me.
Why did it have to get an inspection?
It was salvage.
Oh, it
had a salvage title.
So the person that owned it before you didn't get it inspected.
No.
They sold it with an open salvage title.
Yes.
So now the point is, if you do everything and you get,
and I had to go take the salvage title and get a salvage title in my name.
Exactly.
So that I could take it there.
Yes.
So I could go through all that, and then I got a reconstructed title.
That's the trick. So the trick is, after you've had it repaired perfectly, and you think this is going to be great, I've solved the problem, you go into the title bureau with your inspection certification and your title, and you're $75 lighter and 3 weeks of your time worse off. You go in and the lady goes, okay, and she hands you a title that says rebuilt salvage. Oh, wah, 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 wah. Sleepy sold me a bike that had a rebuilt salvage title. That Triumph, whatever, Thunderbird. Drink to honor Tanuki-san. Yep. So keep in mind that getting it inspected doesn't mean your title's clean or clear. Your title is still a rebuilt salvage title.
I'd like to offer condolences to the lost Tanuki-san.
Oh
yeah, there's
adventure guy. The wife or child knocked his Tanuki off the shelf.
Oh no!
And it has been busted.
Oh no, we can figure that out. Yeah, that's a friendly fire situation there. So yeah,
Adventurous Northwest.
Get in touch with Renee.
Yep. Reach out to Renee.
He said it was a leg lamp moment.
It was major award.
Fragile.
Oh, that would suck. You're like, yay!
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, that's just to give you guys a heads up on the whole title thing. And again, before you trade your vehicle in, don't go in there at the mercy of your dealer. Also, don't go in there and find out what your bike is worth. Be shocked. And then instead of just being cool and walk out, feel like you need to fucking take it up with that dealer, which is exactly what happened on Tuesday, where the guy came in and I offered him exactly what J.D. Power said his bike was worth. Exactly. Even though it needed some work done to it, I offered him the number, and I usually will print the things out. And at my shop, I do 3 levels of don't fuck with me. I print out the Kelly, because that's always wrong. I print out the J.D. Power, which is wrong, but sometimes in a different way. And then because I'm a National Power Sports Auction member, I will also print out the National Power Sports Auction results. So we know what the wholesale price is of that vehicle as established by what they have sold for in the past 90 days. Because National Power Sports Auction goes through about 5,000 bikes a month. So the likelihood of you having some unicorn that hasn't sold at National Power Sports Auction in the past 18 months is pretty fucking low. So when I give you 3 things and says, okay, Kelly says your bike is worth $2,300. J.D. Power says your bike is worth $3,200.
Plus 32.
And National Power Sports says your bike is selling at $2,800.
Plus 28.
Right.
Takes us
Divided by 3.
7,500.
Right. Carry the 1. Right. So when I told the guy, based on these 3 numbers, I'll give you 3.
Right.
And he's like, I just bought this thing 3 years ago for $7,000.
$1,000 a year sounds like a good
Welcome to
rent.
depreciation.
Well, usually what I tell them is, Facebook exists, but I recommend Craigslist. Right?
Ooh.
And I'll usually say, Facebook exists, but I recommend Craigslist. And most people don't want to hear that. To most people, the idea of putting a bike on Facebook or putting a bike on Craigslist or putting a bike on eBay is just more fucking work than they want to do.
If you want the value.
Well, and I always joke, if you want the easy button, it's going to cost you, right? If you want me to have to be the guy that puts it on Craigslist and Facebook and deal with all the people, then that's going to cost you, right? If you want the easy button is always expensive, right? So that's fine. But just a little tip. You know what your bike's worth.
I always joke, because this goes back to Harris and I when we would trade back and forth to each other. When we would list things on Marketplace, the number of people, and you with the Rakita.
The Roketa will live in infamy. Infamy.
But it came to the point where we literally would make a pact of burning the fucking thing rather than trying to answer a million questions. Because it was easier.
Yeah. Yeah. It just is maddening, is what it is. It is just maddening. Because you
ever try to sell an RV. Oh, God. That was the worst.
John, the problem was the raccoon poop and the meth.
Can I live in it? Can I drive it to Texas? Can I?
Man.
You can do anything you want with it.
Oh.
Just fucking whatever.
So I have a quickie little question. Pure inquisitive, I guess. So did you say it was one or two people that came in this week that had the Chris Smith paradox?
Two guys. Two men.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Did the bikes that they were trading in match reasonably well to what they wanted, or were they going for something totally different?
What they were doing is, in both cases, the people had a bike that made a lot of sense to them 10 years ago.
Right.
And then a bike that made a lot of sense to them
Today.
7 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Is the deal. And then it's usually 5 or 7 years after that bike when they try to do the 2-for-1 swap out. Because they bought the bike 10 years ago
right.
and went, I love this bike, but it's not scratching all of my itches. So I'll fix that by buying another bike. And so bike one scratches what they thought was the itch.
Right.
Then they realize they bought too big and heavy of a bike. So then they buy a lighter bike that's supposed to fix everything. Right. And it does for like 5 years. So now they've got the big heavy bike and now they've got the lighter bike, but now something new has come along. And so they want to get rid of the Papa Bear and the Mama Bear, and they're looking for the Goldilocks. Right?
And did they take you up on the Goldilocks, both of them?
Well, in both cases, we now have to liquidate two bikes.
Well, sure.
Because in their mind, or in their wife's mind, 3 bikes in the garage is unacceptable.
Sure.
So the easy button is I take the 2 bikes, but in order for that to happen, they have to take it in the ass.
Right, you're not going to make a parallel move, like cash out one new bike for 2 bikes of the same value.
And that has been 90% of the deals that have walked into my shop in the past 6 months.
I guess, do you think their itch will be scratched by whatever it is they're going for?
The new bike?
Yeah.
Usually I will spend way too much time trying to make sure it does. Right? Way too much time trying to make sure it does. And sometimes they come in and say, I'm here today to buy that. And after an hour of counseling, we realized that they weren't in there to buy that. Oh. That was what they thought they wanted.
Sure.
But hey, maybe it's 70 years old. You don't need 161 horsepower.
Oh.
Right?
Well, that's.
I mean, I don't know.
Did they now were they both kind of in that bracket?
No, they're all over the fucking place.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the one guy came in and he legitimately did not know whether he wanted a 300cc Keyway scooter or an 850cc Moto Guzzi.
That was a question. Did they come in knowing they're like, these two, fine, whatever, but I want that?
No. Here's what really comes down to is they don't know what they fucking want, but they know they need to be rid of the other two.
Okay.
Well, I know one of the guys was like, okay, I like the Moto Morini, but I also like the Keyway, but I also like the Guzzi, and
he
I
was
like
all over the
this.
place.
Yeah.
And I was out. You said
2 hours later, he left, and he had not narrowed it down by 1. He'd increased it by 3.
Oh my!
But the point was, I psychologically evaluated that his real need was he had boredom with the bike he bought 5 years ago,
right?
And he had fear of the bike he bought 10 years ago.
He needs that Moto Morini Escape 650 you have for $6,500.
The Vittori?
Well, if you for
the price of a Vittori,
Escape.
you have the Escape 650.
What an excellent transition.
Yes, and the problem is, then you insert ego. And the problem is the guy that had the 1200cc sport bike 10 years ago that downgraded to the 850cc sport touring bike 5 years ago does not want to admit that he's now downgrading to a 650cc parallel twin adventure bike because, after all, he already has a 1200cc sport bike.
So it's a numbers game at the end of the day for some people.
Always is.
It always is.
It always is.
It's ego.
That was
It's
where
ego.
that was kind of my question, Lean, is I wanted to see where the people are at right now.
The guy who comes in and
what they're
says,
feeling.
I've got a 103 cubic inch Harley Davidson, but my hip's been replaced. I got 2 fake hips. I've got a fake knee and whatever, right? And I bought this Harley Davidson, 10 years ago, or it's a 2014, right? So it's a 2014. I've looked the book up value. I've looked everything up. His bike is worth $5,000, right? And he also has another bike he wants to get rid of, which happens to be electric.
Oh. Ooh. The plot thickens.
You made the right sound.
Yeah.
Just puked in your mouth just a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a conversation.
So that situation.
No, it really was a conversation.
So that conversation happens, and you go, okay, man, you know what? Don't darken my door. Sell that on your own and come back with a pocket full of money, right? Don't try to negotiate when you got a pair of deuces, And that guy's got a pair of deuces, right? He's got a bike that nobody wants to buy right now. Nobody's coming to my shop in 6 months and said, let me see the newest electric motorcycle you have. Our country, good or bad, is kind of taking a view of electric motorcycles at the moment. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So it is a really, really, really weird thing. But just know the value of your vehicle before you try to trade it in. Whether it's a car, a boat, truck, jet ski, whatever.
Fair enough.
So you were talking about Motor Marini for a minute.
Yep.
Perfect transition to just a small topic I wanted to talk about. I threw a message up on the chat today. I found a video from somewhere in Europe where it's called Motosmith. So the dude took the engine out of the 1200 Escape and disassembles it on video and shows the quality of it.
Oh, wow.
And he says that it's completely overbuilt. He said it's amazing.
Yeah.
And as he's taking it apart, he's showing how I'm buying one now.
Right.
It's fucking.
Well, let me know so I can go in the shop on Tuesday and order one.
Yep, and he does the 450 too, and takes that motor apart. And he's like, the 450 is a copy of an MT-07.
Get a $500 down payment right now. Don't let him leave without a down payment.
Speaking of trading 2 bikes for one, it's the Africa Twin and what for that?
Yeah, no, I would sell.
Okay, but just make sure people understand that. The one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight, which is just insane.
Real quick,
Go ahead, John.
I've been accused of not working on bikes and not being a mechanic. So
what did Dave Matheson say?
Oh, well, he's like, Sleepy's the only one who ever works on bikes anymore. So, I just wanted to make it clear
You had a top end in your
that I
hands
did
today.
take the top end off of my scooter and I'm going to put a new, I'm going to throw a kit on a bitch. And stuff.
You've been really busy fixing snow blowers. Yeah.
Well, I cleaned a carburetor at 7 o'clock in the morning, but fuck you. But whatever. I'm not a mechanic. I don't really
Or anything. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
And Tom gets paid. He's a professional, so he's a prostitute. At that
Right.
point.
Yeah.
I assure you all, I'm going to start working on motorcycles.
Everybody sells their body.
I just can't wait till my garage is
Got to
at
earn my
negative-
keep my keep.
negative 320 with the weather that we've had for the I had the barrel burning one time for 4 hours trying to get my garage to at least 20. It just was
When it's 8 degrees out, you can't win.
Yeah, there's
you just
nothing,
can't
man.
win.
My fucking Resner's awesome.
That's very good investment. Having
Flip a switch, turns it
Yeah.
into 70 degrees in 15 minutes.
small garage and a big heater.
Yeah.
It gets right real quick.
Yeah.
Yep. The infrared heater that Tom has in the back, that overhead.
Oh, those are
that
good.
that overhead infrared is like if somebody says to me, I need to know what kind of heater I should have in my garage, I'm going to say, is your garage ceiling at least 10 feet high? Because if not, you're going to have sunburn. If your garage ceiling isn't at least 10 foot tall, an overhead infrared will fry your brain.
I have to remember to move the gas
Tinfoil
cans
hat.
every now and again.
You can get chicken out there, and you can cook the chicken while you're working on the bike.
Oh, it's true. When the bikes are up on the lift, if you put your hand up on one of the seats of the bikes on a lift, you're like, damn, that's hot. Yeah, it's dangerous. So as
Kenny
happens,
Rogers.
Yeah.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers roasted chickens.
Man makes a mean bird.
I need to start taking like baked potatoes wrapped in aluminum foil.
Throw them right up there. You'll be fine. Just get little hangers hanging from the infrared heater. You can hang rotisserie chickens there.
Throw some foil packs up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like it or not, the fiscal year's over, and the companies are forced to reveal to their shareholders
Count their losses.
their fucking numbers. All right. Ooh. And this is what my favorite time of the year is, when we get to separate a year's worth of marketing bullshit from the numbers you have to report to your shareholders or your financial investors. This year was fucking bad for Harley Davidson. In fact, I asked AI, what is the company that is most likely to go out of business? What is the motorcycle company that is most likely to go out of business in the 2026 calendar year? And it said KTM and Harley Davidson. That's AI. That's not me. I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, one of them already has, so.
Well, no. KTM hasn't gone out of business.
Well,
arguably, KTM has never been in better shape.
That's true.
Because it went from having a guy behind him that was worth, $300 million to a guy behind him that's worth $3 billion. So that's pretty cool. Their numbers are so fucking bad.
How bad are they?
Well, first of all, check the show notes and pull this shit up, because for people who like spreadsheets, there's a lot to chew on here. There is so much to chew on here. I'll throw it up there. Sleepy's got it up there. The important thing to look down here is do not look at fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is useless, worth looking at. Do you know what it does during most of fourth quarters? The weather's bad, Christmas happens, right. Fourth quarter is a terrible thing to judge motorcycle sales on. Third quarter is usually pretty vibrant and exciting. Fourth quarter is normally pretty bad. So look at the full year. Those are millions of dollars, okay? The numbers of monies that they have lost is insane. When you look at a company that has gone from 455 million of net income to 339 million, that's a 26% loss. That is a huge fucking loss. That is crazy loss of money. When their revenue goes from 5,187 million, that's $5 billion, to 14% loss, boom, right there. That sucks. Then here's the weird thing is Harley Davidson has apparel sales. Their apparel sales are even down. They can't sell t-shirts. Now we go down and look at what they lost in operating income, $29 million in just operating income. Huge loss of fucking money. Massive, massive loss of money. Their operating income loss is negative 110%. Okay. That's not even, you can't survive that. It's terrible. And when you consider that much money being lost, they lost so much, it is ridiculous. It's bad. Now, remember that Harley Davidson has two things. They have the motorcycle company and they also have the finance company. Now, you may remember in a podcast a little while ago where we talked about them selling $400 million of their debt. So they sold $400 million of their debt, which was a nice cash infusion of a little under $500 million. But that didn't fill the bucket. That did not stop the bleeding. Selling off all that debt, no, it didn't help. Their stock went from over $45 a share to about $18 a share right now. Okay. Eesh. They are in a free fall.
Buy low, sell high?
Buy low, sell high. And if it gets down to $5 a share, you people better be buying Harley Davidson. Except for
buy high, sell low, and make it up in volume.
Yeah. We lose some on every sale, and we make it up in volume, right? So I got a little curious, though, about Livewire, because Livewire had put out this bullshit story that say they were the #1 electric motorcycle sales in America. And I was like, really? Because I don't fucking know anybody that bought a Livewire.
Yeah.
I know 0.0 people that bought a Livewire.
I've never seen one out in the wild ever.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen them in parking lots brought there by a truck.
Sure.
That's about it.
I don't see them being ridden. Mm-mm. Okay. I know one guy who owns one, Bradley Brownell, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody else who owns one. And Bradley loves his bike, and most of the people I know that have Livewires do say they love them. That's fine. So because I thought that the numbers for Harley Davidson were bad, and because I was very suspicious of this claim that they were the best-selling electric motorcycle in America, my dumbass had to look up the actual financials for Livewire, because remember, they're not the same company anymore. I am shocked. What do you mean they're not the same company? When it came time to get a loan from the federal government, they were the same company. But now they're not the company because when they're doing their financials. Do you want to know why they're not the same company? Because if you thought Harley Davidson losing $29 million was a bad day, holy fucking hell, Livewire has somehow managed to lose, no shit, and I couldn't believe it. Livewire lost $75 million.
What?
So Livewire, who sold, according to their own numbers, Livewire said they sold 653 electric motorcycles that are not children's bike, by the way. They like to count their children's bikes as motorcycles. They're not full-size adult bikes. They sold 653 of them.
Sleepy sent me a listing a while ago for an electric bicycle branded by Harley Davidson. I've seen these at the...
It's called a Stasic.
Right. So my assumption is that 600 number are those.
No, 653 bikes is motorcycles over 40 horsepower.
Oh.
Okay. Motorcycles, titled motorcycles, license plate motorcycles, 653. Of the Stasics, they've sold like over 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So, but you can't pay the bills on the little tiny bicycles, right? And you can't do $75 million. And that's up. They're bragging. 653 is up over the only 612 they sold last year. In shareholder bullshit speak, Harley Davidson is very happy because this year they only lost $75 million at Livewire, where last year they lost over $100 million.
Well, that's bonus time for the C-suite.
Yeah. So now let's get funky with that, because the thing that fucked me up when I looked at the Livewire numbers is when you look at electric motorcycle, they claim to have sold $381 million worth of motorcycles.
Who did?
Livewire.
Listen.
For 653 bikes.
Listen.
Now we're going to check how good you are at math.
Yeah. I was going to say, listen.
Girl, I'm a PR major.
Yeah, I exist in ultimate realms different a lot, and I can still do math better than that. So, come on.
Okay. And that's the problem. And they're claiming that is a 61% increase, thumbs up, in sales. Yeah, this is bullshit. Okay, this is bullshit. They're claiming 3.8.
Selling these bikes to.
Right. And they're saying that we're doing great because last year we had an operating loss of $24.7 million in our motorcycle division, and this year we've only lost $18 million.
So
right?
about a week ago, we had a conversation, you and I did, in your office.
Right.
And it was some bullshit accounting term that is...
EBITDA.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's EBITDA.
Because it used to be called gross profit.
Well, there's always been gross and net.
Yeah, and then you started talking about this a bit
and
of
then
bullshit
EBITDA
that
is...
And this sounds like a whole bunch of that.
Right. And EBITDA is your gross minus... Right. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation,
and
right.
amortization.
Amortization. Thank you. Right. Because those things don't exist.
Those are non-cash deductions.
Sure. Right. They didn't happen. So we don't count them. They're not part of your bottom line when we're trying to get a loan. Right. And that's creative accounting. But
I swear, honey,
the simple point is,
I swear I won't come in your mouth. It's
right.
just like
if you're holding a dozen eggs, and if of those dozen eggs, all dozen of those eggs are promised to your friends, right? But 2 of those eggs in the basket actually happen to be yours, but the other 10 are promised to your friends, and you trip and fall and break all dozen eggs, you can be very happy that you only lost 2 eggs.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. You've only lost 2 eggs. The other 10 eggs don't really matter because those were people you owed money to, right? That's fine. So this is fucking bonkers math. It is so hard to swallow that it deserves the statement. But then I made the mistake of doing just a little bit more digging. Don't ever dig more with Harley Davidson. Don't do it. Take the bad story and run with it. Tell your friends, don't dig more. Do you know that the taxpayers of America in 2009 gave Harley Davidson a $2.4 billion loan?
Say who?
That they never had to pay back.
Damn.
That's not a loan.
Can I have like just a $2.4 million loan?
Permanent loan.
Apparently, you can't, but Harley can, right? Because, again, lobbyists, things like that. When I found out that they have managed to burn through $2.7 million, so I went and found it on Subsidy Tracker, and they literally list, you throw this up, it's disgusting. They literally throw up every subsidy, every government subsidy that Harley Davidson has gotten, whether it's a tax credit, a rebate, a grant. The fact is, they got a $36 million tax credit from the state of Missouri.
Huh.
Right?
I didn't get one of those.
You didn't get a $36 million tax credit from the state of Missouri. How about they got a grant of $1 million from Pennsylvania? They got a $1.6 million training reimbursement from the state of Missouri. You look at that, it's fucking disturbing.
We'd say this is all on account of lobbyists, yeah?
We would say that, yes. We would say that. It's having the right congressman in your pocket, right? That's exactly what it is. When you look at these numbers and they're sitting there and the numbers all add up to $2.7 billion, that's disturbing. That's horrible. And they're state and federal sourced. So Harley Davidson is very, very good at getting free money. Better than I am. Right? Yeah. To know that that's your tax money, by the way, guys. That's your tax money.
Well, the good news is, after all that, they are going to be laying off this year.
Well, yes, they are. Quite a few. So that's pretty ugly. That's pretty bad. So anyway, they did, and to Tom's point, why we wanted to bring that up is Harley Davidson they were forced to admit, apparently at gunpoint in their investor meeting, that they are going to fix all this with their new CEO. Because their CEO said, we're going to save everybody. We're going to lay off about 1,500 people.
Yeah. So for your $5 billion in taxpayer money, you've lost 1,500 jobs.
There you go. Yeah. Keep America strong.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. That's fucking painful. That is really fucking painful.
But they're not going to change any of their product to try to attract new buyers.
$2,700 million worth of loans since 2008. And the solution is, oh, by the way, we did close. Remember, we closed the entire Kansas factory in 2018. We did that. So entire factory got closed. And now we're going to go in and we're going to lay off 1,500 more people. And that's bad. And I'm pretty sure that at this stage of the game, if you think, oh, I got laid off from my job at Harley, I'm probably going to get rehired there in 6 months. Don't. That's not going to happen. That's like when they raise taxes on something. Oh, we're going to take them down again once it gets sorted out. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, once that new Indian hits and everybody buys them, you just go work at Indian.
They'll go work at Indian. Yeah, that's exactly right. Awful fucking news. Really, really bad. But in the good news category, and I mean, this might be good news. We're going to hear what noises Sleepy makes. We'll determine if it's good news based on the sounds that come out of Sleepy's cake hole. Go ahead and throw it up. Ducati is celebrating their fake 100th anniversary.
Ooh, fake.
Yeah, because Ducati has only been making motorcycles since about 1954.
Oh, I was like, oh, this is getting good. He's really doing a lot more with his mouth than I used to.
I'm waiting for the duck noise. That clack, clack, clack. Clack, clack, clack. Yeah.
Okay. This,
so wet
in my
air.
opinion, this looks better than the Pulse Smart from a couple of years ago.
I actually think it does, Tom.
I like this.
I think you're right.
The fairing's a little odd, but this has totally got that Pulse Smart vibe of the traditional Ducati 900 Super Sport.
Strangely, it comes with black tape over the headlight.
Yeah. Is it a headlight or a super sucker?
It's not a vacuum cleaner intake, right? It's a good looking motorcycle. I really like this.
It's the traditional aqua over silver.
It is the silver with the aqua.
I would have preferred the Porn Star 70s Ducati down the tank.
It has the little gold stripe on the gas tank, which is actually Oh, God.
Sleepy.
That actually sounds though like you're like walking with
through
one wet
mud.
galoshes.
Yeah, right. That's why I was like, wait a minute.
Well, it has the Emola tank stripe.
It has the Emola tank stripe, which wasn't that really just a spot in the fiberglass so you could see how much gas was in it?
How much gas was in it? Yes.
Yeah, so they've replicated that with some gold paint on the side or gold decal.
Well, it's full all the time.
Right.
You don't ever have to worry about running out of gas.
So this is what this is.
I would have preferred a slightly more traditional muffler on it, but I'm assuming Agostini.
That is a Terminioni.
Yeah.
And that's probably, I mean, that may or may not be what comes with it.
Yeah.
Wait, what about that Jawa we looked at last week?
Yes.
So the Italians have like somewhat Italianized the headlight that was on that Jawa.
Definitely. Definitely.
And they didn't add the random silver blobs on the side of the bike.
They did not.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Well, it does still have the flat Ducati trellis frame instead of the very angular curvy thing.
Yes.
So
right.
It looks the part. Like this is what it should look like.
The one that's at the bottom right now, that's what they're emulating, the Paul Smart,
fairing,
right?
Yeah.
With the teal colored frame and all that good shit. We get that. That's super cool. Well, so let's get into some of the weeds just a little bit about some strange, I don't know, inconsistencies. First of all, this is the Heritage Formula 73, also known as the 750 Super Sport. This bike is not a 750. Does anybody know what this bike is?
Let me look at it.
450.
I say 1200.
803.
Probably the 1200 or the 900.
1200.
It's an 803.
It's the Scrambler.
Oh, actually,
It's the Scrambler.
It's
the Scrambler.
Is it actually going to be affordable?
It's going to be $20,000, Tom. You tell me.
See, that's the problem. Is now you're making a $20,000 Scrambler.
You're making a $20,000 Scrambler, right? That's
it
what it
only
is.
makes 73 horospower.
It's 73 horsepower because it's the
My
Scrambler.
Tiger makes more.
It's the Kimco V Twin. I get it. No, it really is. Kimco builds it for them.
So this is the Scrambler engine. So it's the Scrambler powertrain. It's going to be obviously the Formula 73. And they're building only 873 of them, right? So it's beautiful, and I love the way it looks, and it's super cool. But I'm not going to buy into the sauce.
No.
Because it's a low output motor that's incredibly dated. It's been out for a long time. It's a very, very nice parts bin special.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful parts bin special.
If you offered this as an alternative, like you have the Scrambler over here because everybody loves the Scrambler,
right.
And if you offered this alongside the Scrambler as a comparable model,
sure,
it would be perfect.
Yeah,
and now you're
absolutely.
telling me it's an exclusive, limited edition, $20,000 Scrambler. I'm out.
Correct. Yeah, 803 cc, 2-valve engine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you like the monster motor from 2001, this
Right.
is
Yeah. They are bragging about their Rosso Corso, the Diablo Rosso Corso tires, right? The Pirelli Rosso Corso tires is a very nice thing to brag about.
the
Except the
Pirellis-
problem is they have inner tubes inside.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end of that spectrum, Phil, you realize they're making a 450 Desmo motor or dirt bike, now, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we
So
talked about it a few months ago. Yeah.
I keep getting now that I'm getting
Right.
ads for it.
Yep.
That's why I guess 450 when you said,
yeah.
what motor's in it. I couldn't quite see it from
It's
here.
a rather old motor. This motor has been around for Ducati for a very, very, very long time.
1990
For 100 years?
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
and that's a little bit something about the 100-year thing.
Well, it
So-
does say capsule collection right underneath. It
does, right?
Scroll down there.
Yeah, yeah.
Forgive me.
Dedicated capsule
Capsule collection.
Dedicated capsule collection.
Forgive me. Did they say what this is going to the asking price?
For what? The jacket?
No. The bike.
20,000.
Oh,
20 grand.
Phew.
Yeah, 20 grand. 20 grand for a 2-valve 800cc motorcycle.
Do they offer any apparel like the snack?
Do they offer? Do they offer any Ducati lube along with it?
I was gonna say,
Yes, they do.
You need that to get in the Dinese outfit.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I'm sure.
That one piece leather at
No, you have an
Ducati.
undersuit. It's very easy.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Sleepy.
Yeah, as long as you douche before you get into
Hey,
it, fine.
Sleepy, speaking of easy and douching, you've just been paid $2 to go back to your mouth noises. Apparently, the audio computer generated noises are not as good as or
It
effective.
does sound like you're walking through a mud puddle.
It doesn't. It really... Oh man,
It's ringing it out.
You need to record some.
This is like when you have a little bit of a problem and you
Right.
got to ring the end out.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you got to record live. You got to do it live so you have it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Sean.
High quality show.
Yep. Give people what they want, the authentic deal,
Yep.
the real
Yep.
show.
Yeah, that's
No
exactly it.
AI here, buddy.
Yep.
And after the show, we'll all leave. You can just stay here in the OnlyFans studio.
Right.
Right.
The downtown only.
And I do want to clarify just
OnlyFans studio
because we do want people to understand that the Cleveland Moto Podcast, as much as we fuck around, we do like to be accurate about things, and that the Scrambler, in fact, isn't made by Kimco in China. It is made in Thailand. So to clarify, it's not made in China. It's not.
Oh, to clarify, it's not made in Italy.
Yeah, right. That's yes.
Their website, Ducati's website, says they are made in Thailand with parts sourced from Italy. So, like the speedometer might be sourced in Italy, or those Diablo Rosso Corsa tires are probably sourced in Italy.
The owner's
Right.
manual is sourced from Italy.
Right, yeah, but we can definitely tell you that the manufacturing of this bike is Thailand.
Which
Right.
a lot of, I mean, most of the Hondas we get in the United States right now are made in Thailand. Thailand
Right.
is a very reliable
Sure.
source of
Absolutely,
of
right.
bikes. It's not bad. And this is why I look at a $20,000 Amola replica and go, come on, guys, give me that bike a little bit more than the Scrambler cost. Let's go. Build them all day like a Thruxton.
Exactly. Yeah, that is absolutely right. They call it the Rayong plant in Thailand for final assembly. is
Not
what
to be
they say.
confused with the Dayglow plant.
Now they do say that they make about 50,000 of those Scramblers. They do say that they make 50,000 of their 80,000 motorcycles in Italy. So it's only a relatively small percentage that are made in Thailand.
The Scrambler was always a price leader anyway.
Well, that's the idea. In fact, when we were even being talked to about being a Ducati dealer, I was like, oh, cool. I will take 30 Scramblers.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I know my market. I'll take 30 Scramblers and I'll take 2 like Super Sports or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to sell 9 Ducatis and then we'll let you have 1 Scrambler. Because on their buy sheet, the Scrambler is not even on the same sheet as all the other Ducatis.
Oh.
They were treating the Scrambler as a sub-brand.
So what's the points on a fucking like Panigale V4?
What do you mean? What's the points?
Yeah,
Probably 6%.
Really, that's
Yeah.
it. So it's not really like
Yeah.
a big luxury. Like you don't.
No, it's not like, oh, I got a Panigale V4, kids, buy a boat.
Yeah.
No, it's probably 6%.
It's like selling a
Yeah.
it's like selling a Maserati. You make very little money and then all the problems happen.
Well, you do have to get the customer to come back for the $2,300 valve adjustment.
Right.
Right? That's the game. That's the idea.
You got to pay for the $5,000.
You're not selling the customer. The profit for the shop doesn't come from the selling of the motorcycle. It comes from the selling of the helmets that nobody ever bought at full boat, the jackets that nobody ever bought at full boat.
Right.
So you sell those on super duper clearance and lose your ass, right? By the time somebody buys a Ducati jacket, it's already 5 years out of date.
Need a bigger truck.
But nobody cares. Right. Yeah. That's exactly it.
Which means you can't wear it in Italy at all because they'll make fun of you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if
That's
you
5 years old.
market yourself as vintage, maybe.
Maybe, right, if you're going after that. So it is just one of those things that people just need to be aware that it is a Thai-built bike, right? So, but I think it's a pretty bike. I think it's a gorgeous looking bike.
It's very
I
attractive.
think it's great looking.
If you told me my options were that or a Scrambler, I'm going to after that because I'm not a Scrambler guy.
And I would even prefer that bike over the old 1000 Ducati Sport
Yeah.
from years ago, which was very much unrideable. It was a very, very painful bike to ride.
The Paul Spartan, the
Right.
MHRs, that whole series,
they were terrible.
What was the last one? The red. Me and John tried to ride it. I could get on it. And
That
ride
was the Super Sport. So that was
that
a
fucking
yeah.
thing. Holy shit.
999.
Yeah.
They named it right.
Oh yeah.
Would you like to sit on me? 9.
Did you like to ride it? 9. How was your riding experience? 9. That was it. Yeah. We got you. Yeah, we got you. The absolutely positively. The trick why we're teasing Ducati is because Ducati in 1926 started by making a capacitor. So they made a literal capacitor the size of a quarter because Marconi, you guys remember Marconi?
The telegraph.
Oh,
The radio,
played the
right?
violin.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen to the radio.
There you go. Don't you remember? Right. Okay. I hate to get a copyright infringement for Jefferson Starship, right?
Oh, gosh.
For Starship, sorry.
Yeah, it was after they're
So
already
they were literally two people in their house making capacitors. So they were making capacitors for a company that wasn't even their company. It's called Manen was the name of the company. And they were making the capacitors, which is a critical ingredient in the radios. So, that whole idea, they didn't build a motor that went on a bicycle frame until 1949.
Can you imagine when they were first there? Like, hey, give me the capacitor. You want a cappuccino? No, a capacitor.
The capacitor. Hey, it's a capacitor. Two people making electrical components in their house, right? And that's how the company started. But now they're going to say that Ducati motorcycles started 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, if for that record, then
That's all they had the capacity.
the-
then Vespa's 150 years old because Piaggio started building shit in 1882.
Well, no.
Yeah.
See, that's not
Right.
a good comparison because Piaggio still makes aircraft. Vespa.
Piaggio, Italy doesn't make aircrafts.
No.
The Turkish army bought Piaggio Aviation.
But Piaggio, the company, Piaggio, a company.
Right.
But
A
what was it?
company.
What was it? Nintendo's been around since
Right.
1860.
Yeah, exactly.
Something?
Right.
And so they were like
What it gets down to, what's all in a name?
exactly.
What's in a name?
And that's the funny thing is like Benelli shotguns hasn't, like the Benelli motorcycles, people haven't made the shotgun in a very, very long time. Right? Don't worry about that.
They're now Benelli. No.
Right. Exactly.
I had
So-
a Benelli shotgun. That's when Y2K happened.
Oh.
And I was working at this recording studio. My boss was like that multimillionaire. He was like, we're buying guns, boys. And so we went to the gun store. He's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'll take a shotgun. He was like, how about that Benelli? And I was like, okay.
Right.
And so
Fair enough.
It was really
so
nice.
he bought you a Benelli.
Yeah. And
Right.
then I sold it later.
Yeah,
'cause
well, of course.
I didn't need it.
'Cause you didn't need
I got
it.
like $2,000 for it, man.
Yeah,
It was
they weren't
Right.
cheap.
Yeah.
KTM though, because we've been just loving talking about KTM for the past fucking 6 months.
You mean
to a
orange,
year.
orange Bajaj?
Orange Bajaj. That's right. Bajaj orange flavor.
the 990 style. I hope there's good news. 'Cause
God, I hope to God there's a KTM orange whip edition.
Oh, no. Oh, not the orange whip.
Orange whip. 3 orange whips. They straight up KTM. They're not lying. They're not lying. I love it when somebody just tells you the truth and is like, "This shit's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna say it," and they're saying it.
Is
They
there
are
level of
saying
honesty,
it. They
level
are
of
saying
honesty
it.
in that?
When he said, this business is all upside down. For every one guy in the factory, you got 3 guys wearing white shirts. That's not how it works. And Bajaj has gone in and yes. So
Heads will
500 people, the latest big step, is all management. All management people. That's the latest big hit. So it's gonna be there's gonna be bloodletting to the tune of 1,500 people, and the biggest portion of that, what they're saying, is going to be management personnel, because he said the company's just upside down. They can't operate the way it is. They can't survive the way it is. It's crazy. They're done with CF Moto. That's over. That will not. They're not doing that. Bajaj has a motorcycle factory. They don't need to pay somebody else to build bikes for them. Bajaj does not need to pay CF Moto to build bikes for them. The Bajaj factory is plenty big. It's plenty big. They have enough people working there. So the 500 hit, the first 500 hit was by the then CEO Gottfried Neumeister, and that was when he went after the blue collar working class people. This latest hit has been all the high end people.
So what does this mean for whatever, I can't think of the name of it, the RC 990, the new race bike that everybody's slobbering over, right?
Yeah.
So who's producing
Right now-
that? Who did that? Like, where do you get part? Like, is it all just fucked?
Well, there's the Austrian factory is still there.
Okay.
And I think they're going to keep that for those kinds of things.
If I had to guess, they probably are, simply
Right.
because
Yeah. KTM, Husqvarna, and
Yeah.
Gas have survived.
And-
Felt, the bicycles, they're gone. CF Moto, no more. CF Moto's doing CF Moto things, but they're not doing orange things anymore, right? And then MV Agusta and Expo, they're both gone too. So those are both gone. So that's done. It's all gone. Bajaj is very clear on what they're going to do to make the thing that they spent a shit ton of money on not evaporate. And I honestly believe that Bajaj is probably the right company.
Look at BMW. BMW is a perfect example because BMW's high-end motorcycles are all still built in Germany.
Yes, absolutely.
And all of their lower-end bikes, I hate to say that, but all of the 310s especially, are built in India. And to keep that level of build, they're keeping their German factory. I mean, and for something like KTM for Bajaj, it gets them a lot more recognition, a lot more brand recognition, and it's the best way to say it. It still keeps them as a European motorcycle.
Right. And they'll adjust pricing, I'm sure, to adjust for the bikes that are built in those plants.
In addition to that, too, some of the bikes that are actually built in Germany are using Asian-sourced motors.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well,
that's, we were talking about Sleepy's having the Linhai motor in it.
Right. KTM got 20 national titles last year. So in the middle of all this chaos, KTM still went out and brought home 20 national titles. They did great. They were the bike to be riding in Paris-Dakar, right? In the Dakar rally. They were the bike to be riding.
Actually, presently, right now, in Supercross, Eli Tomac is riding KTM this year and doing very well.
Absolutely.
He crashed out this week or had a bad start, but they're back on top in the motocross world.
Yeah. The 1390 Super Adventure R, that's going to be a hit.
And again, that's escalating the arms race.
It sure is.
In the super adventure category.
Absolutely.
You just knocked something loose in my head.
Yeah.
There's a dude on YouTube. I think his name.
Sorry.
No, but his name's Jay Bells or whatever. But he's taken the 1390 Super Duke and he created a world superbike fairing kit and stuff for it.
Jeez.
And so they're making it out of carbon fiber. But his channels, it is really interesting because it showed him develop it, and then he's like 3D scanning shit, then producing the 3D, and he's printing it. And then after he prints it, they're fitting it, and then, the whole process. And so he had it finished, and he took it down to Daytona this year, and it's kind of badass, man. Like, it really looks good. So anyways.
Good.
It's another option. So if you wanted to have a super bike, but you have like a 1290 or a 1390 Super Duke, he's making the kit to make it awesome.
I think this, for what it's worth, everything that we've learned about was that under the Perrier motorcycle group thing, there was a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, hey, you're this, you're a member of the C-suite this week. Here's your $13 million bonus, right? There was a hell of a lot of that going on. But meanwhile, they weren't building nearly enough motorcycles or selling nearly enough motorcycles to justify those guys taking those bonuses on the top end. And it looks like what Bajaj is doing is they're getting rid of all of that.
Well, they don't need to replicate what they already have. They already have all of the management they could ever use.
Well, that seems to be what they're saying is their phrase is they're getting rid of. Bajaj sought quicker decisions and reduced waste. The outdated, complex work manners of Perrier are swept away with this move.
Yep.
That says
Absolutely.
everything.
Yep.
That says it all. If you got a guy playing hide and seek for $10,000 a week, you want to get rid of that guy. Yeah. That guy can't stay around.
If you're not turning a wrench, you're not really necessary to the project.
That's right. And if you're not building the stuff we're selling, then you better really be able to justify your existence.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And that a lot of companies. This is not just Bajaj, KTM.
No.
A lot of companies are going through this right now. Where they're seeing management. They're going, we're really top heavy right now.
And I think that was a big thing that came out in the launch of Indian under new management. Was one of the statements was that sell-off, them being independent now and them being exclusively a motorcycle company. This gives them an opportunity to really focus on that one thing, right? That's all they got to worry about. They don't have to compete against ATVs or side-by-sides or boats or anything else. They can just be motorcycles. That's it. And nobody's going to look down at them and go, okay, well, how come you're not as profitable as our side-by-side division, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we're not. And we're not the side-by-side division.
Well,
we are the motorcycle division.
You said before they were 7% of Polaris is what you said?
Yeah, 7%.
So it wasn't even a blip.
Yeah, 7%. Right. So for them to go from being 7% of players to being 100% of a motorcycle company, that's going to be different. That means everything in that building is going to be focused on selling motorcycles, which I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Right. I'd much rather have 100% of the people in the factory, 100% of the people in the area just making motorcycles than to be like, oh, by the way, we're pulling you off that line this week. You're going over to work on those party barges. Right. You're doing jet skis next week, whatever. So that's interesting. I think that there's going to be a lot of shakeups. One of the things that I asked AI this week about it, I will now ask AI to cite their sources from now on.
Yeah.
I am always asking AI to cite their sources. I found an AI report that said Moto Guzzi was going out of business, and I cited the source on that. And by the way, this wasn't like Dave's AI, right? This is Google AI.
Was this? Oh, Mecha Hitler?
Mecha Hitler. No, that's Grok.
Grok.
That's
Sorry.
Grok. That's XAI. So this was Google AI, a kinder, gentler AI. So the kinder, gentler AI told me that Moto Guzzi was most likely to go out of business in 2026. And I was like, no, cite your sources for that. And it all came back to a Facebook group post.
Oh, no.
From a Moto Guzzi owners group who the one of the top contributors to their group had talked about this likelihood of Moto Guzzi leaving America. And I immediately went and I said, where did you get that information?
Yeah.
Because you got 20,000 people on your Facebook page. Where did you get that information? I saw it on a YouTube video. Took me 2 seconds to find. Found the YouTube video. It's AI slop.
Yep.
The YouTube video in question that started it all was AI slop.
Right.
Well, they do that now, where like an article will link to a video just so they get the traffic going back and forth to get the
Well,
views.
this poor
It's
old
fucking
man,
terrible.
you know, this 70-year-old fellow who runs this Moto Guzzi owner's site, saw a video and, you know,
Well, remember the fellow that we had on the podcast with us? Their thing seems to do quite a bit of that AI.
Well, I mean, that's that thing about like check your fucking sources, people.
Right.
Because this guy who was the leader of this Moto Guzzi America Facebook group hung his ass out on that statement. And had 500 comments about like, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. They can't build a bike, whatever. And then after all that nonsense, I just asked, what was your source? And then when he gave me the source, it took me 1 fucking minute to go to look at the video, 27-minute long format video. And I realized the entire video was AI slop.
Yeah,
27-minute video of just
people
AI
also
slop.
don't watch stuff like so. I did the video from the AIM show on that Verge the Verge bike, right?
Sure.
Well, we came back and obviously controversy exploded because the batteries that they supposedly have, they might not. Who knows, right?
They
Whatever.
don't exist.
Yeah, well, all that. But anyway, so at the end of the video, I put links because like it's not my company.
No,
I'm
it's
just
not.
presenting the information.
It's just a
that
story.
the dude said.
And he did say those things.
He did. I wasn't saying it. He did.
No, he said
but then I even at the end I posted a link to their website and a link to the battery website.
Donut Electronics.
And so all these people are like, "Well, yeah, who makes the batteries?" I'm like, "Dude, it's at the end of the video, man. It's right there."
Yeah.
But it's pretty crazy how like that all went nuts because didn't the Misfits said they rode them and stuff?
They did.
But did they ride them with the other batteries?
The other batteries don't. So
That's what I'm
to be
saying.
clear, lithium batteries exist.
Right.
The battery they're talking about, the solid state battery they're talking about, does not exist. It exists in the future.
So then,
But
so
we're
they
not
were
there
just,
yet.
right? So they were just bullshitting on all these things.
They are looking for investment capital.
Yeah.
Okay? That's why the motorcycle is priced prohibitively.
Okay.
Can you tell me your dealer list in the United States? Oh, you don't have one. Okay. Can I buy one today? Is it NHTSA certified? Is it DOT certified? Can I legally buy this vehicle and legally put it on the road? Is always the question I ask anytime people have these
Well, I think
amazing.
They have those on the road, I think, right?
Again, Donut Lab is the company.
Oh, no, the batteries you're saying.
Donut Lab is the company.
Yeah.
They are using Verge. Verge is a part or a subsidiary of Donut Lab.
Okay.
To show their amazing battery technology that's coming out, they have Verge to be the product that their battery will be homed in.
Right.
So now you're selling all the sandwich, the bread, the meat, the cheese, the bread. right? So to somebody who's a potential investor, not only are you having a battery technology, but you're having a place for the battery technology to be used and proven. So that is more likely to be real than to be simply saying, we have the new Philosophium battery that is coming out in 5 years, because Philosophium is one of the most easy to get elements ever. It's like sand, right? It's easy to find. Yeah, that's not real, right? And so the biggest problem that we have right now with Donut Lab is that Donut Lab is promising to have a battery out that will be charged in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
A full charge in 5 minutes. And I've heard that from him.
Well, he said 10 minutes.
Okay. I've heard that from him. I've read that on their company bio. I've read that on their stuff, that this battery will be able to be charged in 5 minutes and have 100,000 cycles. And the technology that they're saying they're going to be using, curiously, another company you've never heard of is also doing a lot of research and development in this technology. That company you've never heard of is called Toyota. Okay. And Toyota says they are realistically 2 years from producing this. But Donut says they're going to have it in 2 weeks. But they've been saying 2 weeks for about 29 weeks.
2 weeks. You sound like a parakeet.
Right. So that's the thing where if you hold this up to some high scrutiny, then you realize that the product may not actually be the real thing they want to sell. What they really want to sell is the battery technology that the product might someday have in it.
Yeah, because
Right.
I mean, basically, BYD is just now starting to push it out into the experimental phase.
Yeah. And if you do standard duty cycle testing for 100,000, somebody says, okay, well, a modern electric motorcycle battery, a lithium ion battery, something like that, is usually running about 3,000 duty cycles, 1,500 to 3,000 duty cycles. So if we figure out 100,000 duty cycles, that's about 100 years.
Yeah, that's why he said it's not relevant.
It's irrelevant, right? So it's kind of foolish to sell me something where you're telling me that it's going to last 100,000 duty cycles. How did you test it to know that it would last 100,000 duty cycles if that's 100 years?
Right.
Right? I'm curious, because that seems like one of those claims, like, this new pill is going to make you 500% lighter.
Through the magic of television.
Right. It can't. Right.
But I mean, I wonder if you can because I know from like RC racing days, you could accelerate, charges and decharges and stuff, and simulate things by like lowering the voltage but lowering time. So I mean, like you could probably simulate how many cycles it has. Or sure, computer models as well.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
Right. That's the idea. But I guess the point would be, it's kind of reckless to say how many duty cycles something's going to have when you don't have it to test.
I agree.
AI told him.
Exactly. Right. And that's that for most people that are looking at this, who look at it for something more than just a passing view, their entire platform is all about getting investment capital. Their entire platform is all about getting people to sign on with this, getting people to invest in this. I'm only concerned because, like a lot of things in the motorcycle industry, we get very excited about something. We go ride a prototype, we go sit on a prototype, we go check it out. And then you're like, okay, well, I want to just go buy one right now, man. I want to go get one. I'm dying for it. I got $40,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Go let me buy this motorcycle, right? And the point is, well, it's almost ready.
Right.
Right. It's almost ready. We can get it for you just real shortly now. And that, to me, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish that there was more of it has to be here. It has to be something we can sit on.
We could get the dude on the podcast. I have his number.
That's, again.
That would be fun to talk to him, though.
No, it's not.
No?
Because my inner skeptic is going to kick in.
That's
my inner
fine.
skeptic will become my outer skeptic.
Yeah.
No, it's not fine. That's not what I'm here for.
Okay.
I'm not here to just shit on stuff.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, but if you ask valid questions and they can't answer them, or they can't,
then that's gotcha journalism. And I don't like it.
Well, it's not gotcha if you're just
I'd
asking
rather tell
valid-
people about good stuff that does exist than faulty fake stuff that is a trap, right? To me, that's just There's no shortage. How many motorcycles have we seen in the 15 years that we've been doing this that never made it to market?
Oh, of course, yeah.
That all claim to be the next greatest thing. Yeah, and to me, that, I don't like that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being promised things that nobody can deliver on.
I can deliver.
Sure.
Right.
I got you covered.
Right. There you go.
Well, you're well rested.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. He's had his nap. He's ready to go.
Well, I mean, insurance talk and
It's very exciting.
On the opposite end of this, though, I look at a company like that. That's
Can we
actually
talk about Harley Davidsons? And
Yes,
then-
we can.
And then
We didn't even talk about the new launch of 16 of their bikes, right? Yeah.
Oh, how many different colors does the Sportster come? Oh, wait, they did away with the Sportster.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Well, no, I'm saying, though, is the $27 billion we've propped up Harley Davidson with, it seems like we could have produced solid-state batteries at this point.
Yeah. It's
if you had $27 billion, what type of motorcycle company would you start?
and that's and
Bajaj.
no, I would if somebody said, draw me a business plan right now for a motorcycle company, it would be a motorcycle that sold 4 motorcycles. Right? Think about it. You would do what? You'd have as much cross-platform shit as you could have. You'd have 4 bikes, but those 4 bikes would be fucking modular as shit. So you would basically have 4 roller skates. You'd have 4 chassis.
Make the slate out of motorcycles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would make a motorcycle that the frame essentially would have.
You'd have 500 and a 1,000.
So basically, Buell before Harley.
You might have a 125.
Yeah.
You might have a 300. You might have a 500, or you might have a 750, and you might have a 1,000. You might have those. You need to have a 125 for learner legal and all those places, And you could do it, or just have a 125 funsies bike, right? And sell a bunch of them. Worked for Honda.
God damn right it did.
Yeah, I'm completely. Yeah. So right now, since that Verge TS Pro that you can go buy right now, you can't buy right now because they're saying they're going to be available for customers in Q4 of 2026. So you can't buy it right now. You can go ride one if you go to the place where they have one to let you demo it. But as of this moment right now, you just can't buy it. Right. And I get it. I totally understand it. You got some new stuff. You want people to be excited about it. You want people to be fired up about it. In the meantime, though, it's tough to report on stuff that isn't going to be deliverable. And I just hate doing it.
We're getting solid state batteries before GTA 6.
Stop.
Right.
I can't.
When we were talking to that guy, and when you spoke with him, when I spoke with him, they were real cagey about you can get the Ultra Edition. And when you get the Ultra Edition, well, when is the Ultra Edition coming? Oh, well, as soon as we wrap up that battery thing. And the good news is the battery's going to be 50% lighter, and the motor's going to have 50% more power, and all this stuff. And I was like,
No timeline. Where is she?
you haven't baselined the first one yet, right? Show me the results of this magic battery pack, because you haven't even put the batteries in a row yet and hooked them to anything. So if you haven't done that, then you're going to get me real. But I said, it's curious that what you're telling me in this interview is that I should wait, because you've identified me as somebody other than an investment capital person. So since I'm a person that just wants to buy a motorcycle, what you're telling me is, oh yeah, I might even kind of be telling you not to buy this one. Wait for the Ultra to come out. And that guy, and after having me for 10 minutes at the takeaway, I was like, so what you're telling me is that maybe this isn't the one I want to buy. Maybe for, 10 grand more, I should be waiting for the Ultra to come out. He's like, well, that might be what you want to do. I was like,
Might it
okay,
be?
I get it. All right, right. Oh, your duck is even more succulent than it was 10 minutes ago. I promise, it's almost done. It's just so succulent. Yeah, I'm not cool with that. Yeah, that's just that's one of my things. It's like, okay, bring the bike out, I can ride. Bring a bike out, I can buy. Show me a NHTSA rating. Show me DOT. Show me EPA. Show me something that says the bike is really real and it's been tested and it's been approved to be sold here. Because until then, man, it's tough. And I want real stuff that we can't get here. I want that freaking Toyota Champ pickup truck. I want that Toyota Hilux fucker, and they're selling it in other countries, and that makes me angry because I want to buy it here. I want to buy the DJI Neo 2 drone, and I can't buy it here because I'm an American. I have to buy it in Canada.
I dusted up my drone today. I was flying around
you did?
out of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's neat in the wintertime with all the leaves off the tree. And
You can see
you
things.
can see down.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
See a lot of turds in the pool out there, did you?
Yeah.
It was fascinating. It was fascinating. It just boggles the mind.
Put the FLIR camera on the drone, and you can look around and see where your house is leaking all the heat. Yeah, I definitely, DJI did it to me. They got me with that Neo 2. And I'm like, I want that little bastard so much. And I tried to buy it, and they were like, no, no, no. Bad boy. No, no, no.
Not in my
Yeah.
house.
No, sir.
How much is that?
$350.
What does it do?
Everything.
Wow.
That's the reason why we can't have it.
Yeah. I mean, you literally just follow me. And you wave your hand like that, and it follows you from the front. You wave your hand like that, and it follows you from the back. It sees
My
branches
dog
and
does
trees.
that. I don't even have to.
I don't have to put dog food in this fucking thing.
Okay.
I was gonna say
I don't have to pick up the poop from the Neo.
the food bill is $350 a week for your dog.
I've seen your dog. Fuck that dog. Man.
She's down to 171 now.
Oh my God. So svelte.
Yeah. She's a svelte pooch.
That is small for a Clydesdale.
Yeah.
I do not know how you. If that dog jumped up in my lap, I can just picture one of my testicles exploding.
Oh no, she's a big snuggler, man.
I get it, but dogs' paws are like broomsticks.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
It's like
No, she's stepped on my toes before when I've been like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
you could never have an animal in your house you can't kick across the room. In case of emergencies, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to make sure that if my cat jumps on me in the wrong way, I
right.
can extract
You can-
cat from the area as fast as possible.
Yep.
But if your 171-pound dog jumps on me, fuck that. No way. I'm going to tap out.
Yeah. She's a lover, though. She's.
She's a sweetheart. But you know what? That's a lot of dog.
Yeah.
That's like 17 normal dogs.
That's 10 pounds short of me.
Riley was 55 pounds.
Riley was 55 pounds? Yeah. That's like a normal dog
Like
size.
three,
Yeah. That's like,
3.5 Riley.
yeah, my cat's old and emaciated. He's down to like 10 pounds now.
Oh.
But, he's like from the outside, you're like, wow, that's a Maine Coon cat. And then you pick him up and you're like, whoa, shit, that's the bag of Maine Coon cat came in.
It's all fur, yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
There's almost very little cat left in my cat.
We have a cat like that. It's this white and black cat.
Yeah.
It's been my cat for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this cat's just always been here. And the other day I picked her up and I'm like, whoa. I was like, it's just fur, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's in here.
I mean, Hayden, even without a leg, Hayden missing a leg is still, 12 pounds.
All right, we're insurance and cats. We are rocking today.
Yeah.
This one's a fucking hot.
Hey, look at the time.
Look at the time, indeed.
We haven't talked about airplanes or helicopters again yet.
Oh, no, not likely. No way. Hey, did you see we have a giant crack in the ice on our lake?
Yeah. We do.
That's fucking with people.
Well, now it's melted, probably.
Yeah, well, now we're on our way out now.
Right.
But I was just like, everybody's like, oh, the lake's frozen solid. And I was like, the second somebody said that, I looked out from my house and I was like, no, it's not.
I have a giant crack in my ass.
Right. 80 miles long.
Well, it was frozen solid, but
Right.
It's almost 80 miles.
people
long.
can't walk across your ass anymore. Yeah.
They try.
They do every year they try.
Well, that's after we finish up with the podcast tonight. That's actually going to be the video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Got to shoot it for the Pornhub.
Oh, my God. So I am going to Mexico. I just thought that's 100% on right now. So I'm going to Guadalajara and I'm renting a CF Moto 450. So that'll be the bike for the trip. Considering my options were CF Moto 450 or Honda 110. Yeah. Sure. Oh, by the way, Honda 110 scooter. So, yeah. So I'm taking the CF Moto 450 so Dr. Waters and I can be two up.
Isn't that a Navi?
What's that?
Would that be a Navi?
No, it's like it's the
ADV, right?
No, it's the Navi motor, but in a scooter. So it's that Honda Diablo shit.
A Scavi.
The Honda the Honda Dio 110. Yeah, that was the one.
Ronnie James.
Not going to do it. Yeah, not going to do it. Not going to try to do two up on that or rent two of them. Fuck that. We're just going to do the CF Moto 450. And then this way, if we don't want to participate in the scooter rally stuff that's going on downtown, we can fuck off into the hinterlands.
Nice.
Do we have any hate mail?
I don't
about
think
to
so. I
ask
think
the
we've
same
actually been pretty good. I'm glad you asked. Let's find out.
Maybe we
Let's
can
find
generate
out.
some.
So just a filler. You can't. So Tom, you said I could put a 150 top end on my buddy, but then I talked to Phil, and like, there's a reason that the 161 kit only fits on the 125.
The 161 specifies 125 only.
125 only. So there has to be.
Is that a case bore issue or a crank issue?
I think it's a crank issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think
the
that.
150 is stroked or something like that.
The 125 is the stroker motor. Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting.
But anyways, I don't know.
I was pretty sure the 150 is swappable under the 125, but the 170 was not.
I think
And
you
I
can put
think
the
it was a
150
case
top
bore
end
issue.
on the 125, but it doesn't get you anything.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. Is you put a 150 top end on a 125, and you get absolutely no more power out of it.
Because it's only probably like a 138 or something.
It's just
Well, it was never more power. It was always more torque.
okay. Well, yeah.
And that was always the big thing is displacement in a buddy. It doesn't get you any more power, but the torque involved was always the thing.
All right.
Because
Well,
they
there
use
you
the
go.
same belt and the same weights and the same everything in the transmission's all the same.
Well, I'm going to put a 161 big bore kit on.
And the 4-valve head.
Oh,
Right.
whoa, whoa.
And might as well put the nibby round the flat. Hey, let's go with a flat slide on that.
Oh, I don't have Tom money.
Put a big old Prima.
So it does turn out that the rolling wrench stage 4 kit is compatible with both 125s and 150s. However, the NCY, the Prima, and those other ones are only compatible with the 125 per the internet.
Okay.
Right.
AI.
Per the internet. So yeah, that's it.
Cite your sources.
Yep. Yeah, that's that was citing Modern Buddy and citing Rolling Wrench's website themselves.
I'm going to put the 300cc big bore kit on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna.
We're gonna find you a wrecked Blur, and we're gonna take the 220 and put it in that.
Right. There you go. I think that was always been my issues. Like the Buddy 125 has always been a really good scooter, just the way it was, just perfect the way it left the factory. And anybody is like, I'm really chasing power with that. And like,
Well-
you are aware that bigger motorcycles do exist.
Yeah.
Well, I just figured like you probably can't buy you can't buy a stock cylinder, piston, rings, and everything for
Not for as cheap as you're going to get the kit for.
I mean, I'm
Right.
telling you, there's one in the back with a cracked engine case that has a pretty good top end on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's just literally a door weight. It is holding up the side of a bench.
but you could use that at the shop at some point.
No,
You know
I
what
mean,
Like,
Broken
It's-
case is a
it's-
broken case.
it's broken case.
Yeah, that's we're not. Nobody in our shop is going to be welding up.
And it's a
some broken
125.
cases.
It's a
and we
125.
already established you'll never have to rebuild a 125 because in the history of
Keep the oil fresh.
Hang on. Hey, Phil. what was
only
the-
two
what
have
was the
ever blown
comment
up,
from a-
and I have one of them.
What was
Yeah.
the comment a couple of weeks ago about a head gasket?
What about it?
What did you tell me never to do again?
Oh yeah. For real. We were talking about the diminishing returns on doing head gaskets on certain vehicles because that which the factory hath assembled, let no man try to reassemble. Now on one single cylinder motorcycle scooters, it's a different story.
No.
But
air cooled.
air cooled, right?
Single
exactly.
cylinder.
But we can tell you that there is absolutely a chart somewhere. We don't know where the fuck it is, but somewhere there's a chart that says the number of cylinders your motorcycle has, air cooled or liquid cooled, and then at the end of it all, there's like Vegas odds on whether or not that motor is going to be oil or watertight for the rest of its life. And a big part of it is, can you convince the customer to bring the thing back in after 500 miles to retorque everything?
And
then have them bring it in again about 1,000 miles.
and the truth of the
retorque
matter
everything.
is you can buy a Buddy 125 or 150 at this point for about pocket change.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that you're going to swap the top end on a $20,000 motor, I'm like,
Well, I had so much money into it. I just have to.
yeah.
I gotta save it.
He had so much sunk cost in that thing.
Yeah.
It was really, you really had to keep that one around. With that particular bike, I would even strongly debate whether or not we would okay, do we want to buy the actual cylinder kit? Do we want to buy a performance kit? Or do we want to do this Johnny Cash style and be like, I got a piston from over here. I got a crank from over here.
I mean, I could make that bike not smoke and run. I would just go clean everything up with 400 grit and
Absolutely.
it had a little bit of a tight
Well,
spot, so it was making a tickety tick.
Like I
It
said,
needed at least a set of rings, but I could probably reuse everything and make it fine.
I mean, I don't know what I
a
would
dude
do.
in India, a dude in China would be running that bike for another 100,000 miles. Yeah, and they'd probably do the engine rebuild on the side of the road.
Realistically, though, you can swap the top end on that in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do without the doorstop, but I think I would use one of the other buddy motors I've got in the back as a doorstop. So if you need it, just come on by.
Is that a 125 or a 150?
I have no idea. It's holding up the end of a bench.
Honestly, we've never wanted to move it or needed to move it to find out, because realistically, that's been the joke is we know the motor's a good motor because we've sold about 800 of them and never had one blow up. So if you've sold 800 of something and you've been selling it since 2006 and you've only seen 2 of them blow up, and both of them were blown up because the one had like 21,000 miles on it on the original oil that came in the factory, from the factory, right? What do you mean I got to put oil in here?
That's still a pretty good run.
It's a really good run. When it came in, and
What kind of oil was it?
Well, it was smoke by the time it showed up at my shop. It was smoke oil. And then the second one that came in, it came in making a bad noise. And I was like, what's going on with this thing? Are you going to be kidding me? I've never seen a blown up buddy. But then we looked at our service records and we're like, okay, it has never been here. So we sold it and it just never came back for anything. And I don't know how many miles are on it. It's not that many.
I don't know.
How many is on it?
I'm not sure. But I want to say that I think it has 20,000 miles.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm wrong.
That crazy dude drove that one to DC and back with all the crap on it. It takes a lot to kill a bike.
It takes a lot to kill a buddy. Yeah. The other one was somebody who'd done shit tons of performing tuning. It was Dustin's bike. He tuned the hell out of it. So it was on razor's edge of reliability. Fast buddy, well over 80 miles an hour. The problem was he sold it to a person that did not know that there's a dipstick or oil. And they just thought it's a scooter. Turn the key, press the button, get on the freeway, go as fast as you can for as far as you can.
That chick used to pass me on my way to work.
I know, dude. I mean, it's like, I know Dustin's bike. I know the sound of Dustin's bike. And when I would hear this, and I'd be like, holy Jesus Christ. I was like, oh shit, that's not Dustin. Dustin doesn't own that bike anymore. He sold it.
You know, I ended up putting the stock top end back on that motor, I think, at one point after she blew it.
Yeah, after she blew it up. Yeah. But like I said, there's only been 2 blown up buddies that have been at our shop. So for a bike that people tend to abuse pretty badly, we have seen a very low number of explosions.
I'm stoked about having a buddy. I've always wanted to get a buddy 125.
Yeah, they're fun. They're just, I mean, again, anybody who's been to Mid-Ohio and been to our site, if we toss you a buddy to ride around, they always come back and they're like, this thing's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did the hill climb. I did everything. I went off road. I did the trials course. And you're like, maybe you should. What? I did the trials course. Here's my trophy. You know, like what the fuck, man?
Dude, I won the motocross. I won the hair scramble.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is, I go out and I'm barrel racing, and I was like, okay, barrel racing, and I'm on a bike with knobbies and the whole deal, and then I'm going around and I'm like, wait, that's one of my bikes. And then I'm like, oh shit, that's another one of my bikes. And I'm like, there's 2 buddies right now in the barrel racing, and they're not losing. They're giving it.
Well, I've said we're now
up with them.
We're now sitting on 8. So I think at this point it's getting into rent a racer territory.
It's just that joke thing. It's like, nobody ever predicted that. Nobody would have ever said, okay, yeah, the darling of Mid-Ohio, the bike that we all enjoy so much, the bike that we love rocking around on. If you'd have told me it was a Ruckus, I'd have been like, sure, why not? Chubby tires makes perfect sense. But you say it's literally the Taiwanese grocery scooter, right? It's a Taiwanese shopping trolley. That's what but they're so fucking good at their job. And they also don't seem to care. You're like,
you could be shopping in whatever environment.
Well, it's also, I've seen 3 people come back on one buddy. And you're like, you found 2 friends.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like they go 65 miles an hour, but it doesn't matter what you put on them.
Yeah.
You can have 14 people on them. It'll still go 65 miles an hour. It's really weird.
And ultimately, there is a line on a chart that says, how fast is the buddy going? And it's always faster than it should be.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the situation. You have 3 people on it and some firewood.
Yeah.
How fast does it go? Faster than it should.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going down a trail, off-road, whatever. How fast can it go? Faster than it should.
Well, and then they give you the options. So, like, you have the front rack and back rack. You can load some shit on that bitch, dude. I've had, like, 2 quarts of firewood on the front of it, my kid on the back, and a car seat. Like,
do you know how many of those rear racks we have welded on? Because people see, like...
Yeah, mine's completely busted.
People don't realize that there's a weight limit.
Yeah.
Because people just get in that mindset of like, it's a buddy, you can't kill it. I'm like, yeah, but the back rack is rated for 10 whole pounds.
Yeah. You can't
and you
kill
see
it,
them,
buddy.
And they've got fucking a cord of wood on the back of the thing.
You can't kill it, buddy, but I'll tell you, the first time, my first buddy that I ever had, I broke really, really hard one time, and then I couldn't figure out. I'm like, why does this feel different? I'm like, it's like my arms get longer or something.
You bent the frame, dude.
Oh, no. The handlebars now are closer to the seat.
Yeah, you bent the frame.
But then you can fix it by just going...
By unbending the frame.
And then you're fine. So that's the best part about those things. They can kind of... Instead of having
brittle.
No, but you don't have to get bar risers. You just pull really hard until you get comfortable.
You want to change your rake?
Yeah.
Give her a tug.
Just a little tug. give him a tug.
Just give her a tug.
Give
but we
balls a
found
tug.
out if you've changed your rake, John and I can unchange it with a tie-down strap and a come-along. It's like, okay, it's all right. The metal has a memory.
Yeah.
Metal wants to go back to where it was originally built to be. And the buddy has that, like, everyone says it's got a front shock and a back shock and a middle shock.
Yeah.
The middle shock is the frame.
The elasticy frame. It's a featherbed frame with that just being one tube.
That's an interesting thing, though. I saw that on a video, and they were comparing like the Yamaha. What is it? It was with the Honda XR150L versus the
The new Yamaha 125R?
The WR125R.
Yeah.
And go to the motorcycle. If you sit there with the Honda and grab from the front of it, grab the handlebars and go like this, and feel the wag in the bike.
It wags a lot.
Versus the Yamaha, where it's like,
And it also, when the first Ducati Supersports came out, everyone was like, oh, this frame is amazing. It feels so great on the track and everything. It's just so perfect. And it's because the trellis frame is so stiff. And the Ducati engineers were like, no. The Ducati frame is not stiff. The Ducati frame is built to have flex in it. And they're like, that's part of the soup. That's part of what makes it so good.
Japanese guys started to shake.
The Japanese guys are like, no. Box section, Delta box.
It's slinky.
Right. And that was the thing is the Ducati frame, like everybody always said, the handling of the Ducatis were superior. And all the Japanese guys were always like, I want that frame to be stiffer than anything on the planet. No flex, no twist, no nothing. And meanwhile, the Ducatis are like just swinging. Just like,
how true is that? True enough.
It's a gray area.
Yeah. How much deflection do you get at full throttle? It's enough.
We don't measure.
They build their frames al dente.
Al dente. Chris, do you have a joke for us? Because that's pretty good. I can go out on al dente.
What do you call it? Inexpensive circumcision. A ripoff.
Oh man!
I made a website for orphans. It doesn't have a homepage. My grief counselor died. He was so good, I don't even care. That's all, folks.
All right.
Excellent.
Oh, man. On that, my friends, ride fast and take chances. Get us out of here, Johnny.
Bum, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba,
Jack, hit the red button. Get us out of here, sleepy. Yeah.